2, 1.
Boom. That's exciting. I always do a cold open. You're much more professional than I am. Right. What I'm going to do is, when it appears, I'm then going to click my face to appear, and that'll give me an idea of what the lag is that I'm seeing. Here we go. Oh, do I have to press refresh for it to actually appear? If I do that.
2, 1.
And there we go. Nice. That is it. Right, so good stuff. Hello, everyone. I'm going to make my small face appear. There we go. Hello. Oh, that's no good. Wait a minute. Let me press that and press this. Oh. Hello, everyone. Hello, me. I'm here, and also Jay is here. We're both here. My goodness. Oh, there we are. That was mildly chaotic, but I wouldn't expect anything less from a stream that I'm in any way involved in. Oh, good grief! The delay is huge on the old YouTube. That's fine though. We won't worry about that. As long as I can see the chat, I'm happy. This is slightly. This is like slightly. Yeah, I'm seeing the chat through. Oh, I've got top chat as well. I need to put live chat back on. Okay, right. Let's reset my brain. I can hear the music should be going. How's the audio? How's the audio levels, everyone in the chat? Hello, everyone in the chat. Amazingly, there are a few people in the chat who are saying they don't know what this is and they're coming to join in. I suppose it was 8 months ago, the last episode. So, yeah. Firstly,
and not on my channel.
And indeed, it is on your channel. Hello to anyone who's actually all the names in the YouTube chat. Almost all the names in the YouTube chat I recognise. Mike Osted, hello. First time tuning in. Nice to see you. So, right. Firstly, Jay, thank you very much for letting me plop this onto your channel. You've been a supporter of this series for ages. So thanks for that. So it's a pleasure to have you along for it's not really a reboot. It's a relaunch because we're not rebooting anything. Nothing. We're picking up where we left off post
season 2.
Season 2, exactly. This is season 2 of the series. And for anyone who's doesn't have a clue what on earth this is and what on earth we're talking about, so basically this is the Archipelago series, and we've done 100 years of this almost already. Basically, this is a Transport Fever 2 series where we essentially look at the way that certainly it's evolved into becoming much more detailed now, but even in the early days I was thinking about the way that we build transport systems relative to actual periods in history, and how, twofold. Firstly, it lets us learn about how transport systems develop. We get to learn some bit of stuff about civil engineering, we get to learn about track alignments and railway operations and all that good stuff, but also on the flip side of that, if you are into doing realistic looking simulation games and like TPF2 maps, then this will help show you how to make your maps look super real. And this is in vanilla. It's an enforced vanilla playthrough, and it's showing you what you can achieve in vanilla. So with mods, you can do even better. So that's kind of what the series is. And if you want a recap of the last 100 years, then there's a video you can go and watch on my channel. There's a catch up. Go watch that. It's for me a very short video, which means I think it comes out to about 7 minutes. So you can watch that. And then if you watch that and you want more, then there's probably about 100 or to 150 hours worth of video content. I don't know how many hours it is, but it's a lot. So where did we get to in the last episode? Well, the last episode we left off on the 1st of January 1948. The music's gone really spooky, crikey. We have the good old. We've got an engineer plays playlist in the background. Oh, this is it. I'm getting excited, Jay. I'm getting really excited and also slightly trepidatious of given that there's been like months of nothing and then now we're relaunching again. I'm like, is it all going to work? Is it going to break? And so on and so forth. The good thing is...
My viewers are used to months of nothing, though.
Well, yeah. Same, to be honest. Right, so I need to make sure I've got all the right bits attached. First of all, we're going to have a little reminder of what's been happening. So, the 1st of January 1948, we had the Transport Act 1947. Or rather, that act was enacted. It had a commencement. So the consequences of that act came to being on the 1st of January 1948. And what that means is that there was this little pamphlet which gave us a bit of a guide, which was talking about the fact that we had the two previous railway companies were merged into one. The whole thing was nationalized. We had or rather at the time, socialized, if you like. It became into democratic ownership, split into 4 different regions. There's our little collection of islands for anyone not familiar. The little pamphlet goes through. We did this at the end of the last episode, so I'm not going to run through it at high speed. But that was a little pamphlet kind of going through. And what does this actually mean? Well, what it actually means is that this is the railway map of this island, this big mess. Bradshaw down here is the kind of capital. You see the sprawling mess of lines down here. Oh, I tell you what, I'm looking forward to sinking my teeth into this place, Jay. There's such a lot of railway for about 25 by 25 kilometer square. Good grief. Anyway, this all became one network. So you had the BS&WR, the Bradshaw Southern and Western Railway, and the Great Northeastern Railway merging into one system under Amphitros Railways. And here it is. So that's what happened. So, without further ado, let us jump into the game. Here we go. So let's do that. I'm now going to close. I've got to close. There's so many windows because I thought 3 screens was enough to do content, but as it happens, nope, it's not, because I've got a screen over here split into 2, and anyway, let's not worry about it. Basically, let's do this thing. We're going in. Here is the game. Everyone, tell me when the game is on screen. Here it is. Look at this. It's Bradshaw. Oh, here we go. And it's paused because. Well, actually, I don't know. Should I unpause it? First of all, let's get rid of some of this stuff. We don't need stations, and we'll leave stations up actually. But here we go. Here's Amphitros. There's Bradshaw. Let's do this. Here's our little set of islands. There's the main city here, looking huge, with airports and all sorts. It's getting busy at this point, Jay. What is there anything particular we should go and look at other than of course going up here and looking at this bit down here. There we are. There we are.
I'm watching behind, so I don't get to see that quite yet. But with that said, I think just, for me at least, and trying to introduce hopefully new viewers.
Go for it.
You're a professional railway engineer, and I think Transport Fever 2 has by far and away the best track building tools of any kind of tycoon-esque game.
It for sure does. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So what I've loved is your kind of role play as all these different companies, but also your role play as like railway engineers of different eras, because I'm sure you're used to dealing with track and alignments and whatnot, first built in the mid 1800s through the war era, through whatever.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
You get to do one of the things that I always think is most interesting about these games, but of course none of them are interested in it at all. But you're just constantly dealing with technical debt, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and part of the fun of that is banking all of this mess that we're going to have to either unpick or, however we end up dealing with it. And yeah, we're going to be dealing with the trials and tribulations of history, as we kind of have. But history gets busy from kind of. We move into a period of decline, of kind of changing economic doctrine post-Second World War, which can be quite interesting. And given that our island is maybe not following the same trajectory as others, I think it'll be interesting to show where politics, where the things that we might think go better for this island might end up going similarly, or perhaps how things go differently on this island compared to other places. And it's worth just saying this. I am using this broadly as a proxy for British transport history. So it is a little bit talking about British. There is a bit of a British kind of angle on this, but it will very much be reflecting similar trends that we see kind of globally as well. So yes, lots of the legal acts that you'll see me refer to in the series are based on British ones, but you'll see similar patterns elsewhere. The US had lots of sort of similar stories. In fact, to be honest, if you want a US rail history, go to the epic Penn Central, Penn Central, saga on Well As Your Problem podcast, because it gives a good idea of why everything went wrong in like the substantive part of the US rail network. Also the Amtrak episode. And so on and so forth. Anyway, I'm just having a little look at the island because bloody hell, it's huge. There's a lot.
It is huge.
There's a lot of stuff going on here, and there's lots. You can see all the little railways snaking about. Oh goodness! But I kind of feel like we should get cracking, really, because we've had.
I think so.
Yeah, we've had. So let's press. We're going to start press. You know what we're going to do? We're going to go back to where I was a second ago, up at Rugeley. It only feels right for us to... Oh, by the way, a few of the trains... So there's lots of things that have been happening. So, for example, all the trains are all now Amphitros Railways. And they've had over the last sort of year, since that law came in and before the act was commenced, they've been repainting trains. They've been trying different liveries. So we've got here a nice sort of, what is it, burgundy? It looks very nice. This is the express train, and they're experimenting with express colours. So I'm going to press play for the first time in 8 months. Is it going to crash? There we go. And it is an express train jerking a little bit as it comes out of your tunnels. There we go. It's running okay. I guess it would be a little bit jerky at the start because it's got like 8,000 vehicles to work out where they're all going, not including the private cars. Anyway, so right. So we've also selected some settings. Those who joined on the Patreon bonus episode see we selected some settings. Yeah. So here we go. It's happening. It's January 1948, and we have a nationalized, or rather a socialized, railway system. Crikey. So. Oh my goodness, so we're going to have these are going to be annoying. These pop up a lot. I did a bit of a trial run to see what would happen, and lots of those appear. So we're going to have our cities and our towns are going to have lots more cargo stuff, which in a way is fun, because it means we can start shipping more cargo, more ways to our various cities, particularly our major centres down here, Bradshaw obviously being one. Bradshaw and Shildon. Sorry, go on.
That's something we should probably also say. As part of the reason for this hiatus, we talked about starting this episode months ago.
Yeah.
Featuring this. But then they started teasing updates and things. And the way Transport Fever's devs work is they tease stuff like 3-4 months in advance.
Yeah. Exactly.
And then it just so happened to come out right at the beginning of the summer when you were extremely busy. And like the Patreon streams that we're talking about, I watched them and they were literally just like going through and setting up the alternate platform assignments for damn near every passenger train in the island.
Yeah, and I had to do more of that off stream because so for example, here's the lovely Shanklin Great Western, which is I think a fan favorite station because it is really squeezed in here, like into Shanklin, which is one of the maybe the second or third city of the island. And yeah, this station particularly is really squeezed in. And what I have done now is I'm trying to think what the best way to. It's difficult to. The best way to do it is to show it this way, I think. And then this and this. Oh, also, because I've not played the game for a long time, I'm going to have to need everyone in the chat to shout at me what the key bindings are, because I can't remember I cannot remember half the controls. So this button here, newly added, Shanklin Central, that's Shanklin Central, which is no good. Let's zoom in a bit and see. Yeah, so for example, you can see here, Shanklin Great Western. Actually, I haven't selected multiple there for various reasons. Yeah, there we go. Shanklin Great Western. And you can see I've selected multiple platforms here. So there's a useful functionality that is, I think, going to help congestion a lot in a sort of very useful way. So if you have got like lots of mixed traffic stations, that is definitely some useful functionality.
Is it a chore to have set that all up?
Yes. So things like that get really administrative. And anyone who's new to the series, you'll see that I do other things. Like, for example, if I go into my industries, you'll see that, all the ones that have asterisks are the abandoned ones. But the ones that I've actually named and run, you see that I name them all. And it's similar like that because this allows me, firstly, it kind of, I think people in the series enjoy the lore. But also it allows me to make the game more interesting for myself to play. So some of this history. So you've got the Amphitros Minerals board here running all the mines. That's a thing. That happened recently. APC is the Amphitros Petroleum Company. So these all appeared. I think these all appeared after the various nationalizations post-independence in the last episode. So there's lots of stuff like that. There's all this history of these various companies. Some of these companies have existed in the series for decades and decades. Some of them for the best part of a century, in fact. So it's going to be interesting to see what the trajectory of those is. But a lot of the changing of names of stuff, because we have so many services now. You know, if I go in here and look at the services. For anyone else who's watching this, I don't play this like roaring away unpaused the whole time. I pause because, frankly, there's too much that happens a year to just let it run away. So if you just look at services, all these services, there's so many services. Oh my god, look at this. All these services, and all of them are named, like the bus. So the buses in Bradshaw, all numbered. All of these are numbered. So you can see there's a lot of stuff that I do have to do off stream because I think people would just not be that interested by me changing. Like the massive stuff where loads of things change all at once. That obviously is like pretty major. So that stuff I do off stream. But most stuff I'll be doing, like anything physical I'm doing to the map will be happening on stream now. I don't think I'll do anything between streams now in terms of physical stuff like infrastructure alterations or whatever it is. So there you go. So that's an idea of the sorts of services we have. And you can see there's a pretty massive range of services that are profitable. There we are, lots of freight ones, for example, up to lots of services that really are not. So you can see some of these stopping services, actually. The ones that have the highest sort of route capacity are often the ones that have the lowest balance. Like, I never quite worked that out. I guess it's because they get full on certain legs, but then they get empty on others. So yeah, I don't know. Well, that's something that we're going to unpick as we go forwards anyway. So, Jay, I've paused, and the reason I've paused, Jay, is because, and this is going to be a bit like it is in the series, because there is a thing I want to show everyone before we go to the next, before we go over to the next thing, which is, it's what was that date? It was like the 18th of January. On the 18th of January, we have a report being published. A report is published by the and yes, but for anyone not sure, yeah, this series now has assets. I enjoy doing these assets. I don't know why, but I do, and there are going to be so many more. Anyway, the Ministry of Transport and Logistics, it has a committee. The report of the report of the Railway Bradshaw Plan Committee. They actually were enacted during the war, but kind of became more useful when the country gained independence. And it's basically looking at ways in which the railway network in and around sort of the major cities in Bradshaw, Kingston, Shildon, kind of the sort of southeast, if you like, could be improved. So it's looking at the rail network and how that rail network can be improved. This, by the way, is a proxy for a similar report that was done for London around the same time. This is sort of how this series is going to go. We're going to pull out some fun stuff through history that influenced transport and then see how it looks when we apply to our island. Anyway, what on earth am I on about? Well, here is a map. That's the interesting. Everyone loves maps, right? Here is the first map that we're going to see in this episode, and there are a few of them. And this one is interesting because, let me just flick over here. So if you zoom in, there's a nice map. Look at it, it's lovely. Map number 2. Goodness knows what the other maps were. But we have here a map showing the railway network of the southeast. So you kind of got Bradshaw here, and then Shildon here. For anyone not sure of the geography, there is a map that you can search for that's in the description of the video. So if you want to have a map up on another screen, or if you want to quickly refer to that, if you wanted to see geography, then you can go and do that. And it has aerial views as well as railway maps. But anyway, so you can see the rail network, and what this map and what the report tried to do is apply a more useful suburban network to that infrastructure. And there's certain, if you find the London version of this, it's really interesting to see what was proposed. And it's worth saying it proposes some new infrastructure. So there's a new, so Bodmin Central's got this kind of annoying turnback that goes into the centre of the city, but it isn't that useful operationally. So there's a proposal to snip that off with a new chord. There's also, perhaps most interestingly, this is for the 1948 proposals for new tunnels connecting underneath the centre of Bradshaw. Essentially axing Bradshaw Metropolitan Station and providing a link kind of up onto the Great Northern Network and out onto the old Central Network. So basically joining north-south with the suburban network in the south of the city, because basically the whole suburban network is sort of south-facing in Bradshaw. I bet there was stuff like this in the US as well, right? Post-war proposals for suburban railway stuff, changes to networks, right?
I'm not. I think largely like mergers did that.
Yeah.
Because there was no single nationalization. There wasn't like enormous rationalization of a lot of networks until your kind of later merger era.
Yeah. So there was lots of so you had basically I mean in New York, for example, I suppose you still just had enormous amounts of competition at this point. So this is the 1940s, and there's discussions about rationalization and about improvements, but basically creating single networks. The discussions that were only happening probably in the fringes, right, in the US at the time.
I mean, you had a lot of like central belt railways. So like what you do is you'd say, instead of doing all of this with like crappy interchange points, like the Chicago belt basically built a big circle around the city, really far out, and that was run municipally. That could kind of cut through all of this and provide connections. San Francisco had a belt railway. New York had terminal railways and harbor railways, things. So like a lot of stuff like that. But looking at this, it's sort of like trying to connect this to like a station or a city with lots of terminals and things. Obviously, some of them, like New York City, still has multiple terminals that don't connect at all.
Yeah.
But other, like Chicago, they largely still do, but also did, once later on, usually once they were kind of taken over for commuter railroads and things, either the intercity trains all just kind of shut down and closed, and just used different freight connections and things once Amtrak was created in the 70s, but nothing quite to this degree. Like looking at New Tunnel, there's still places, there's cities where in Boston, they still have 2 separate terminals that they've been wanting to connect with a tunnel for 80 years. SEPTA, Jeremy just brings up SEPTA did it.
Yeah.
So that's, it happens, but nothing in quite this large force, because there was no national kind of has never been national network planning.
Yeah. But of course, the disappointing thing is that these. I mean, this, as I say, this existed for London as it existed as we're showing here now for Bradshaw. But whether these actually come to fruition is quite another matter, of course. But this is, it's showing the aspiration, and one of the things you can see the service patterns. So you've got letters here showing that the whatever the B train might be, that service would run B. You can see there's two services here running parallel BC here, ABC through Aldwood Junction. Interestingly, they've omitted Oldwood Junction here on this map. That's clearly an error of the map makers. And then you can see so the B, then it goes through here, then it's running through here, so then the B runs down to Maybury and Godlingston. So it's kind of showing how a service might work, and in some cases making use of the existing infrastructure, and in other cases proposing new infrastructure. So there's that map there that's it's kind of interesting, I think, to look at and see what the aspirations were. As to how much of it comes to fruition, well, we have to wait and see on that front. But anyway, just a brief aside there. So that was the 18th of June. This is the juggling that I've been talking about. I'm going to go back to here and then go back to here. So that was it, January 1948. What else are we going to do? So there's everything's kind of running away. There's not much changing at the moment. It's just a case of sort of business as usual with respect to this kind of services. Oh, these are going to be going crazy. These notifications. There is one thing I want to do though, which is just have a look at our rolling stock, because there we go. Not that, actually. I want to do this and just go to have a look at the condition of our rolling stock to see where there's knackered stuff. There's a lot of knackered good stuff, but also I'm kind of interested to see where because one of the things that did happen through this period, and certainly through the early 50s, is actually that there was a lot of improvement in passenger coaching stock so that's one of the things that I think we might start tackling. So, for example, this service here, where on earth is this? I don't even know where this is. It's the Bristol train, which everyone knows has been getting kicked into the corner a bit. This is the Bristol service. If you run along here, I'm pretty sure this line. I mean it's had it. One of the platforms was demolished in Bristol, and not great. Where's it's paused. How did I manage to pause? I managed to pause Spotify somehow. Anyway, so that's something I need to think about. But before we do that, I'm going to do some bus creation. Let's go over here. So we have this Stratford. It's bustling Stratford here. It's got its trams. Lovely. Because I think... Oh my god, this... I'm also getting used to just how fast the game moves, because I have not played this game in earnest, certainly with it moving, for so long. Crikey. Let's have a look at the bus services that we've got in the area. Let's go here and just have a look. Basically none. There's a bus that runs down to the ferry that's run by the railway, because for various reasons, Amphitros Railways inherited a load of road services, so that includes freight. They've got a load of freight services as well, I believe. So there's loads of just weird, because of the mess that was the railway companies before nationalisation. They've ended up with loads of different companies. So, for example, you've got they've got this bus that's a bit strange, and then you've got these local roads. These are also run by Amphitros Railways, which is really strange. These goods services, which is really strange. I mean, not doing too badly for themselves, crikey. Oh, that one's not doing great. What was that top one? It's making £1.5 million for moving ore around. Yeah, fair enough. Oh, it's taking ore up somewhere else. That'll be why. Anyway, what I'd like to do is create a bus service. Firstly, I have to remind myself how to do this. So that's going to be really good luck. So everyone expecting a pro stream. Nope. Guess again. Let's put a bus service in here. So how are we going to do it? Are we going to use the existing tram stops, I wonder? Maybe not. So there are tram stops here already. I suppose I could, if I do this station, maybe I do that. Maybe I have it call it these. Let's do that for now. But if it's going to go out to Wooler, I don't think there is a bus stop at Wooler. So yeah, no, there isn't. So let's do that then. Let's go over here. Oh no, there is. Oh, who's calling here then? Ah, West Coast Motors Limited are calling here. Oh, it's the Battle of the Buses already. Okay. So does that mean there's a bus stop over here as well? There is. Okay, perfect. That's good. I can just create a new line right off the bat then. New line. I'm going to start here. We're going to go to here. Oh, no, not there, actually. We want this to be a sort of a faster bus. It's going to go to Wooler Town Station, and then it's going to whiz along into Stratford. There we go.
Somebody's asking for you to do to rate some buffers in this game.
Oh my goodness. Okay, I will.
Stratford.
I will rate some buffers in Stratford momentarily. Okay. Poor rate my buffers. Anyone wondering what's happened? Rate my buffers is not dead. I have merely exhaustedly paused from looking at it because I managed to, in a moment of tiredness and exhaustion, empty all the drafts, which is about 350 tweets lined up. I mean, they weren't written; they just had the kind of the draft stars and stuff in it for me to go through and quickly post them. So that was pretty demoralizing. So yeah, that means that I've also got to go through and work out all the ones that I'd liked to say that I'd done that I've now not actually done. So yeah, that's something there's some emotional trauma I need to get through there.
Sounds like it would be a good time to just take an evening, crack open a couple beers.
Yeah, exactly. Just work my way back through.
Put a slideshow of buffers up on the TV or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I'm going to do. So this is Lakeland Bus. Actually, no, I'm going to call it LB, but it's Lakeland Bus, Stratford to Wooler. There, that's easy. What colour are we making this? Everyone in the chat. I don't know how long the delay is going to be, but what's the colour going to be for this one? While that happens, I'm going to build a building because I need to build a road depot to allow this place to get buses. Where are they going to put this? Because every individual company wants its own depot. So there we go. Oh, I'm almost remembering how to use this game. That's shift and left click to get that to work. That was nice. I'm at peace with that. Okay, fine. Do I want this to be a bit like this? Yeah, maybe I do. That's quite nice. Yeah, there we go. Do that. This
See, purple.
Oh, purple. Lakeland Lines. Oh, Lakeland Lines is one of the bus companies in New Jersey. Interesting. Purple Bus. Okay. Lakeland Bus. The region is Lakeland, and Stratford is kind of the ostensibly the regional capital of the Lakeland region. Lakeland Bus Depot.
Somebody else says like a greenish blue or a blue because of the lake.
Okay, yeah. So that's a nice idea. So because the lake, yeah, greenish blue, a nice slightly greenish blue. We also have better color picking now. That's a new thing that's here, which is quite nice.
I mean, it also kind of fits the technological development.
Yeah, that's kind of true.
Right?
Yeah, paint.
All of a sudden, post-war, you got much better paints.
Yeah, genuinely. I do like that. Right, what are we going to do? Are we going to buy a load of old buses, or are we going to go for some slightly improved buses? That carries 8. That carries 10. Let's go for this one. And how many are we going to have? Just going to have 4 to start with. There are 4. And what color are we going to have these? Well, my God. Okay, right. So, we could just go for one of these colors, couldn't we? We could go for like this is quite a nice. You know what? Let's go for that color for now. Oh, I did not buy. What? There's only one bus here. Is that a bug? Oh no, it's not a bug. 5 buses, I guess we're buying. Fine. And we're going to then put these to Stratford Wooler, and then that means if I do this and then change the color of this to what was it? It was this, wasn't it? Yeah, that's quite nice actually. It's got a bit of a green in it, but it's blue. It's kind of a blue bus, Lakeland bus. That's quite nice. I like that. I know you can do more custom colors as well, but let's not go crazy, folks. So that's Lakeland bus. Founded on January 27th. Very nice. There we go. So there they are. They're doing their thing. Let's see how that goes. See how much pain and congestion that causes. Actually, I'm going to create another line while I'm here, and then maybe that extra one bus that was in there, we'll put in the other direction. Let's create another line. I'm going to go Stratford. Oh no, I don't want to click on Stratford. That doesn't make any sense at all. Let's go from the station up to Morecambe, I think. And I think. Oh, there are no. Okay, good. There are no bus stops up in Morecambe, so there we go. That's useful. Are they going to do it at the station? Should I do it at the station, or should they just break free from that and actually go from somewhere useful? Maybe that's what we should do. Where looks like the centre to you? I suppose we could do the pier. It's quite nice, isn't it? Do the pier.
Or I'm still behind, so.
Oh God, yeah. I'm in Morecambe, and I'm about to place.
Okay.
What direction would that go? Yeah, I'm going to do one here, and then I'm going to do one in the centre. So
Yeah, I was gonna say a couple stops would probably be nice. I mean,
yeah, because this
you
is
don't
kind of
want
a bit of an
to be
interurban, so it's not going to be loads and loads of stops. But actually, you're right. Maybe I should do some more intermediate stops actually,
with
because
just a
that is the
couple.
benefit of the bus.
Maybe a south and a north, each framing the train station in sort of an awkward way.
Yes. Yeah. So that's going to come around there. So yeah, I want to do one that's kind of in the middle-y. So yeah, maybe here actually. Yeah. And I'm trying to make sure that that'll do nicely there, and that'll come through there and there. Fine. And then it might be that we have buses if this gets popular. I'm going to just see if we can get a decent frequency of buses, it might be popular to... You know what, maybe we will pop one up here as well. There we go. Just two little... Oh, that's on the tram line, isn't it? Caxax. I don't actually want that then. Let's just get rid of that, because there's probably a tram line right next to it. Yeah, there is. So we'll do that. We'll have it call there. Morecambe Road. Lovely. Okay, so let's get our... Seward Station, and then we're going to call at Morecambe Road. Then we're going to call at, I think, Main Street, and then the middle lane. Do you want to then call back at Main Street and then back? We possibly do, because then that would mean that you've got a bit of a shuttle from the centre of town to the pier anyway. So yeah, maybe actually...
Yeah, it would be nice.
I think that's the right thing to do. There we go. So this is Main Street. This is... Well, I'll rename that shortly, but that... Then back to here. I'm recovering from / possibly still have coronavirus, by the way. If my voice sounds a bit... if my voice is sounding particularly Guinness advert at the moment, then that's because of having the Rona. Right, there we go. Station. Marvellous. That's there. That's going to be LB Stratford to Morecambe. Yeah. Very nice. And then I think there's going to be one more service that we're going to do. I need this to be... First of all, this has to... Oop. Let's buy... Where are we? 3 of these, paint them this colour, and put them onto Stratford to Morecambe. I'm also going to do... Wait a minute. I'm going to do... Stratford to Wooler, because one of our buses, I think this one, possibly, is going to go on to the Morecambe one. So we've got 4 in each direction. There we go. And actually, you know what? You're right, Jay. You've inspired me. What I actually am going to do, I am going to add... I started it in Wooler. Right, fair enough. Victoria. So what did I do? I did Victoria to town, but then I will add another station, which is out here. I think there's another one. Oh, there isn't. Oh, interesting. Ah, right. Okay. Let's add a little bus stop here then. There. Bus stop. What is this? This is Wooler Forest. Well, this is also Wooler Forest. Marvellous. Good. And it's a reminder of the pacing that I play this game, Jay. It's like, this is very much slow television. Anyone here who came for a rip-roaring roller coaster ride? Oh boy. There we are. And then into the station. So there is another... Let's take advantage of... There's some stuff here. So I'm going to go... call here. Call here. Into the station. Fine. Then call back. And then back again. And then... There we go. And then after that, I think it then goes through Watertown Station back to Victoria. Marvellous. Okay, cool. One more line is going to happen, and it is going to go from... Interestingly, they've changed from magenta to orange as their default. I don't know whether we should read anything into that as their default line color. Maybe it's because they know that I'm a big orange. I'm an orange guy. I'm a wife guy, and I'm an orange guy. Right, here we are. So we're going to go... yeah. Here we are. I'm going... Let's call this one, and then... Maybe this one as well, yeah. And then into Ipswich, which has no bus stops again. Oh, we're back to square one. Right, okay, where are we going in Ipswich? The centre of Ipswich, I think. Let's go for... Let's pop a bus stop here on the outskirts. Let's pop one at the station. I just need to make sure I work out which. Yeah, okay, this way. Let's do this. Yep. At the station, and then another one at the other station. Or do I want to go... What was that? That was going in there, and then along here. You know what? I think I'll do another one at the centre of Ipswich, actually. Maybe at the coast. Maybe one here at the coast. Yeah, I'm doing it at the coast. And then one at the other station. And then happy days. Yeah, there, maybe. Just trying to... Oh, yeah, if I do that, I think it then does a reverse if I then get to this point. So, this is going to be LB Stratford to Ipswich. New bus companies. There were lots of new bus companies appearing at the time. Oh, that thinks it's a tram line, doesn't it? Oh, damn. It's not a tram line. You're a bus line. Crazy bastard. Right, here we are. The key question, Jay, is whether the speed of this content is going to really stretch your audience to breaking point. There we go.
It shouldn't.
Are you suggesting that your audience is well used to long-form content?
I mean, that, but also, if it does, then I don't know what the hell's wrong with them.
Right, here we go. So, back to Ipswich Road, Perryvale, and then the station Seth. Marvellous. Okay, good stuff. That should now think it's a bus line again. Yeah, it does. Good. Okay, now we're going to make that blue. And I'm going to then pile some... Do we want another bus shelter? No, let's stick... They've got one. They don't have a huge amount of money. They've just built one building. It's just one bus works. They buy some more buses. Where's the colour thing for them? It used to be that you could set the colour before you bought them. That functionality appears to have been deprecated, which is interesting. Yeah, I've been noticing new things they've been adding to the game. I suppose it was a redundant... The thing is, it's not a redundant feature, because if you're buying a train, it allows you to have different colours within one consist, which is nice. So I'm kind of hoping they haven't got rid of that. We'll see when we buy a train. Maybe it's just a functionality from... I don't know. Right. I think we now have buses going in all directions. That should be a thing. Let's see. Buses. Yeah, buses. Buses going that way, buses going that way. There we are. It's a formative bus system. 3 lines. Let's see how it goes. Right. Here we go. Here we go. Because the other thing, by the way, is that company does have aspirations of grandeur. What was it? February 6th. What I'm also looking forward to is some of these things disappearing, because when they do disappear, by the way, which we've got switched on, so industries are now going to disappear. At some point it'll disappear, and then there'll just be like an obvious industry gap development will happen, which I think might be quite nice. I already quite like the way that the towns develop in this game. I think they look quite nice. Yeah. There's something a bit... I mean, sometimes they do weird stuff, and vertically they get a bit crazy, but they do some like quite nice stuff. Like this thing. This is nice. I don't know why this has done that, but it's quite nice. And I think, Jay, was it you who said, or I think I read in... So I was going through some of the old episodes, actually, to pick up some bits and pieces and catch everything that I'd done, and also update my massive tapestry spreadsheet, which I'll more about in the Discord to everyone. But, and I think you were commenting on the fact that you quite like the way that you get these station-oriented sort of developments. The towns build up around the sort of stations in quite a nice way. I do quite like that. I think it's quite nice.
The weirdest thing with this game is that it's done so much really right.
Yeah.
It just isn't balanced well or fun
or finished.
Like fast enough to like play normally. Like genuinely, I've spent more hours. I've bought the game. I've bought Train Fever, Transport Fever 1, Transport Fever 2. I've done it vanilla. I've done it modded. Have tried as much. I've never had as much fun actually playing the game as I have watching this stream, because you're just like, screw all the game mechanics. I'm giving myself infinite money. Yeah. But like, the graphics are nice. The track laying is incredible. The like town growth is fun. But like, they just forgot to make the game fun to play.
Yeah, they did forget to do that. Yeah,
it's the weirdest thing.
It is. It's very strange. I don't know why. I'm trying to work out what this road might be called. Let's call it Windsor Road, because bad things are happening, everyone. You might have noticed that I've just changed the name of this and the color. There we go. What might this mean, everyone? Yeah. Uh-oh is right.
See you in the 2010s, Trams.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. These trams are going. They're gone. Because the Lakeland Bus Company, its aspiration was very much... It was running some intercity services, but it really had its eyes on the money-spinning bus services in the city, which I believe are quite successful. These are... Nope. Well, okay, maybe they're not. But somehow they're not hugely profitable. But maybe by buying them up as buses, they're going to be. The thing is, this is part of a thrust at this period, because people thought that trams... There was this a thing promulgated by, presumably, the Automobile Association in the UK and the various sort of road lobbyists in the US. I mean, okay, the US has its own story with streetcars, right? That a very specific evil happened with streetcars in the US. In the UK, it wasn't quite as uniform a story, frankly, because it really was like the whole US followed the same trajectory, apart from a few outliers. Whereas in the UK, it was a bit of a mixed bag, and we're going to emulate that here, which is that there was often arguments about congestion. There's like an argument that trams cause congestion, so we have to get rid of the trams. Which, you know, didn't actually end up being being right.
Yeah, we didn't quite have that. I have to say though, having done deeper research into a lot of this stuff, especially in the U.S., yes, big conspiracy, yes, big shame. But with that said, at the time, especially because of kind of them have all been shitty fly-by-night, private companies.
Yeah.
These were 30, 40-year-old pieces of equipment. They ran like crap. They weren't as like fancy or fast as you might think. And also, you just got stuck all the time. Like the fact that buses could pass each other was tremendous.
Yeah, that is a definite... Right, so these are already kind of backing up your point, to be honest. These are old trams. These are pretty old. They're in bad condition. And so it's the sort of thing that bearing in mind we have a socialist government, right, on our islands, this is probably still a popular move because people are seeing buses as the future. They're more flexible. At the time, people definitely thought they were more flexible. They actually often thought they were cleaner, even though they weren't electric. They often were like, well, it's clean. It doesn't require the infrastructure, and it's not as it's not as noisy. All these sorts of things that people genuinely did think it was the future. So
they were just more modern as well, right? The idea was like, a lot of these companies were kind of broke still, or just getting started and broke. So they only could really justify new vehicles with new gas and diesel buses, which for the first time were kind of practical. They were large enough to be able to beat trams, capacity-wise.
Right. Sorry,
they really felt like a good idea.
Yeah. I now need to work out how to... Now, I did this before. God, this is where it's tricky to swap trams with buses. There is a way to do it. Now I have to try and remember how to do it, and I think it might be by doing this. I think
in the most predictable thing ever, Jeremy's like, "Where are the trolley buses?" There aren't in this game.
There are no trolley buses, which is a shame actually. But there we go. Yeah, it's a definite omission.
It's a big omission. But also, with that said, game-wise, they'd be just like crappier trams.
Yeah, it's true. That's a very good point.
It's sort of difficult. They're not, it's not a game that's particularly deeply thoughtful in terms of balance or vehicles to include or whatever. So, like, trying to come up with a unique use case for trolley buses other than just like, it's another thing.
Yeah.
Would be difficult.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So I've just done that, and I'm hoping this is now going to let me... if I do this, can I now... No, damn it. Right, in the chat, how do you do the tram swapping, everyone, in the chat? I can't remember. I did it in Maghull, and I can't remember how to do it here. Do I have to just basically... just have to flood in a load of buses onto this line? Will that work? That might be the other thing I have to do. So, thoughts on a postcard in the chat, everyone?
No idea.
No, I can't remember. I've done it before.
Buses in Transport Fever 1. I don't think so.
There's definitely a way to do it.
I'm pretty sure every vehicle from Transport Fever 1 just got dropped into Transport Fever 2.
Yeah, I thought so. So if I'm gonna... Right, firstly, I need to work out how many... Am I going to replace all the trams like for like with a bus? I think so, firstly. Secondly, I need to work out... Oh, okay, so it has changed that one to a bus line now. Yes, good. Also, did I not put any buses on that? I didn't, did I? Whoops. See, this is it. Everyone could be reminded that I don't know how to play the game. This game that I've been going on about, I don't remember how to play it. There we are. Oh, and I'm also clicking things. It's getting... There we are. So click this. And then I want to see just the bus lines. I want to put them on to the Ipswich line.
Apparently they did remove a few vehicles. That's
strange choice. Yeah, why have they done that?
Strange. They still have weird, like, so many of the American vehicles are still the stuff made for free by the community from Train Fever's USA DLC.
Oh, really? Oh,
like
my
free
God.
update. Yeah, it was like a community patch. Like,
oh, that's a good way to
again
not pay staff. Whoops.
The choice of some of those vehicles is just so bananas as a result. Like, missing iconic stuff, have like really bizarre one-off stuff. One of the American engines, my favorite fact, is a narrow gauge engine they just scaled up.
Oh dear.
So it's just huge.
Yes, I remember that. Yeah. This one's slower but has more people fittable in it. I'm going to go with this double-decker one for Stratford. Oh, you know what? No, I'm not. I'm going to go for the newer bus. It's fine. And we're going to try this. Oh, God. So I'm going to try and buy eight of these buses.
You know, perhaps another example would be the fact that there's, like, no Route Master in the vanilla game. Speaking of...
Yeah, I know. There is no modern double-deckers. Like, what? Also, there are no new... In the European vehicle suite, there are no modern... like multiple units or like sort of suburban services. There's like a very boxy sort of German looking thing, and that's about it. It's right, here we go. So
bonkers. You know, to have the E60 in the US is an E60 short-lived electric locomotive for Amtrak, but they don't have like the most iconic Amtrak diesels in the game, or like the classic F units, but they have the Alco competitors. It's bizarre. I don't want to get too into the weeds about it, but it's like, why? Who picked this stuff?
Yeah, there are some strange choices. Right, I've done it. I've swapped that out. So what I'm going to have to do is just manually... I'm just going to have to manually replace them. So there's 8 in that and 8 in that. Okay, so I need 16 vehicles here. Fine. 16. Oh, nope, that's not what I wanted to do.
Yeah, Jeremy, no F40. E60, but no F40.
Yeah. There we go. 16 of these. Buy. Paint them the right color. Put 8 of them into the... What was it? It was the Fenny Stratford one, and then the others into the Ferry one? I think that's right. Yes, good. I'm just going to set... So, that means... Annoyingly, it means that all the passengers are going to have to leave, but that's fine. We're selling them all. Sold. But they're now buses.
You're selling the passengers?
I'd have to... Yeah, you sell the passengers. I've just... Literally, I've sold the passengers. They've all been sold into... I don't know how, but look, because there's a bunch of passengers. There's 3 passengers on that. 0...
It's crazy that there's no, like, return to depot and sell. Where it would just drop everybody off the next stop. That's something that TTD has. You can't just sell stuff right off the line.
I mean, I'm surprised. These trams are not well used, actually, which surprises me. There's just nobody on them, so I don't feel too guilty about selling them yet. Go on. Shift them. Right, they're now buses. They're now all buses. Although, weirdly, it's still classifying itself as a tram line. But that's fine, because it's now being run by a bus, so... What is the problem? There is no problem. There are no trams. Okay, I'm gonna have to... No, but this... So here we go. We're off to a great start. The game is already confused. I've got rid of the because it's just buses. It doesn't matter. They're not tram stations. They're bus stations. Also, if I...
Could you peel up the tracks at the stations, maybe? Remove the tram line?
Yeah, that's...
That might force it.
I mean, you know what? They're ripping it up immediately. We're going to do it this way. You're exactly right.
A little goofy, but perhaps there's
rid of all of the tram line.
That's what prompted a lot of this stuff in the U.S. too, and the removal of streetcars and even trolley buses later was like Roadworks came in and they're just like, look, you're going to have to pay for it if you want your tracks in. There's like, screw it, actually.
Yeah, like all the utilities upgrades. It's like, nah, stuff it. We don't want that. We're getting rid of that. There we go. I've managed to pause Spotify again. What am I doing? Spotify pause while trans. Oh no! It's because for some reason Discord keeps. Don't do that, Discord. I don't know how to switch that off. How do I do that? Switch off. Oh, there's some complex setting in Discord that is switching Spotify off every time we chat. I have no idea how to switch that off. Oh my god. I honestly have. There are so many settings I'm looking at that I just. Oh god. No.
You can avoid Spotify being weird by using the web player. Somebody says.
Oh, okay.
Which might not be a bad idea.
Oh yeah. I think that's another annoying thing to have to play. Jeez. Right. So, I'm just gonna keep playing import, and I'll work out how to fix that afterwards. There we are. Lovely. I'm hoping this will make this fixed. There we go. Ah, RIP. There's such nice tram lines, but hopefully the bus service will be better used. Because to be fair, the tram is not popular in Stratford. So there we go. Have I missed any? All of these are now confused, but they shouldn't be because there are no trams in them. So
it should just work.
If I go in here, yep, should be fine. It's going to be it's just not. It's not going to let it happen, is it? It's confused as hell. Oh, maybe if I do and press play, it'll reset itself and work itself out.
Yeah, somebody suggests playing it and rolling a day.
There we go. We've had a day, and it's not having any of it.
No, it's still just confused.
It's confused, isn't it? It's not happy. I don't really want to have to redraw the whole bloody thing again, because that will be...
Try to hit the wrench button, the spanner.
Yeah,
just
yeah.
The auto reroute everything.
Yes. The thing is, it's... They're all road. All that is road, which is good. Which should be fine. Because it's not got any tram vehicle. They're all buses. Spanner button, no. Here we go. Well, what were we saying about the game earlier? This feels like this definitely worked in Maghal. I did it. It worked. This is definitely something that they've managed to slightly change something, possibly in implementing the multiple platform thing. That now means this isn't working. See, this is what I mean. They don't think of common use cases for how transport actually works. Like, someone's not gone, right, what happens if someone wants to convert a tram line into a bus line? Let's make sure that works.
Add and remove a stop.
Yeah, let's do that. Okay, right. So let's go to the end. Let's go to Ipswich Road here. Let's remove that and then add the station back. It is decidedly not working, isn't it? Very strange. It's just gonna have to get me to. It just wants me to redraw the bloody thing, doesn't it? Let's try that again. It's not like this is. I wonder if there's some. Is there something that's going on here? I'm so puzzled.
It still thinks it's a tram line and not a bus line.
It does, yeah. But the thing is, is it just one? No, it's all three. The thing is, it thinks that it also has them as both. Like, it has them as both, so they're appearing as bus lines as well. Which is what's puzzling to me.
Interesting. And they're all cleared of tram vehicles?
All cleared of tram vehicles, yeah. Yeah, so they're all here, all clear.
Bizarre.
How strange. Well, Transport Fever 2 team. Blizzard, if you're watching.
Blizzard. Yeah.
Can
You
you
just redo the route list. I can take a screenshot and read them off to you if you want.
that's what I'm going to do. So, oh god, right, okay. So, I wonder if what I might be able to do is kind of duplicate them, maybe. So kind of do it that way. That might work. So if I just go down
duplicate lines.
So if I go, oh god, I should work at where I am first.
Oh, just duplicate each order.
Yeah.
And then delete the
So if I go at the end and then just sort of, so if I go like, no, is that? No, it's not connecting those either. So it's not even doing it. Let's see. So where did I start? I started a station and then I go out to like. Okay, so it's kind of going up from up there. All right, so stuff it. Let's see if this works then. I'm doing it. I think I know roughly what route this was taking, and we're going to now redraw this and see if it works. So it's from here to here. Nope, it's not having any of it. Still not working. Oh, well, that's irritating.
You're gonna lose your stats.
I don't want to lose the stats. This is the whole point. Like this is the whole shebang, folks. I don't want to lose the stats because the stats are actually vaguely useful and meaningful. Yeah, it's just not having any of it, is it? Right. Well. Oh well. Then the only alternative thing is to do something annoying, which is like this, which is build a new bloody line. And go from here to here to, and then do this.
Babe, could you potentially hand wave this by saying like it came with some route rationalization, or were they just one-to-one replacements like they were here?
Yeah, it's supposed to be one-to-one replacement, but yeah, you're right. It's that's gone kind of on belly up, hasn't it? At this point, what is that red? Oh yeah, let's go through. Reload the save. I don't think that'll fix it. I honestly don't think that'll fix it. I think this is just knackered. Oh, I tell you what, I do want to do that. I don't think that's right. I bet I used this one. Yeah, this, then this, then this, then this, this, and there we go. I think that is that. Which now means I need to transfer these vehicles over. What an annoying pain in the backside. Well, there we go. And then we just get rid of that line then now. It's gone. Wait, was that working? No, it wasn't working. Oh, I nearly had a panic attack. Deciding it to work there. Oh, I wonder if I get rid of all the vehicles and bring them back in again, if that'll work. Let's try that with this one. Let's just try that for a second.
I might do it and just like have no vehicle lineage.
Yeah, exactly.
Of
do
tram
that,
line.
and then do that to that as well. That appears to have worked.
Ah!
There we go. Okay, cool. Cool beans.
Success.
I think... So, what was it? 8 vehicles. We need 8 vehicles. 9, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's put those 2.
So you need to sell all the trams, then buy all the buses, and it'll work?
Something like that, yeah. And what was that? To Windsor Road. Please tell me I did that right. 8, 8, 8. Working. Happy days. Okay, so only Finney Stratford's one is now not working. All the others are now working. Oh my goodness. Okay, right. Anyway. Okay, fine. People are saying go play with trains. Oh right. Who's wanted the buffers rating? These buffers are fixed buffer stops. There's no occupancy whatsoever. Yeah, no occupancy whatsoever. These are essentially a launch pad. Train hits those, they're getting launched upwards, straight into this nice kind of Art Deco building. So these are getting 0 stars. There, for everyone who wanted the rating of the buffers.
What about the ones with the occupancy being the street?
Yeah, yeah. To be fair, those are probably mildly safer, although they're definitely. I mean, for example, Ellie here is becoming meatball marinara if I mean, literally a train is arriving here. What is this? Quite a long local one. This looks like the Morecambe train, isn't it? Yeah, it's the Morecambe train. Weirdly, I know this. What's strange is, particularly now I start getting back into it, I know this island really well, like in a strange way. Yeah. Anyway, So, let's keep doing this. So, what else? What should we do? What should we go and have a look at? Shall we? Is there anything particular you want to look at, Jay?
I mean, you said this was the rise of the rail bus, so.
Oh, that's true. Well, yeah, we haven't. The rail bus hasn't actually arrived yet, so that's to come. But the rail
Unless
bus.
you mean for rail buses, the buses that replace urban rail.
Yeah, no, there are also rail buses to come as well. Oh, that's just another thing. There are no diesel multiple units other than the rail bus in this game. There are none. Like, there is no, like... I want to have a Class 158 Sprinter. It's iconic enough. It should be in the game. Anyway, so yeah, those rail buses are going to have to go long. I tell you what else is going on. What is it, 1940? The trouble is, it's 1948. It's quite early and not much is happening. Certainly in the railways. It's a case of everything is kind of settling. And not much is happening. We can see the new... I was to say we can see the new livery, but this is clearly a train that's not made it to the paint shop yet, because that definitely looks like the GNER sort of light sort of red colour. So, also, definitely kind of old rolling stock, some old coaches there still. So, I said certainly in the case of British Rail, this kind of pre-1950, it was a case of everything kind of being exactly as it was pre-war. Just older and more knackered.
Rainbow era.
Yeah. Also, liveries were a bit chaotic at this point. In fact, through the whole of the 50s, liveries, well, right the way up to 1965, liveries were chaos on the British Rail network. Here's Rugeley. So your tunnels are over there. Obviously, you can't see this because we're not at Rugeley yet. But your tunnels over there. But also this station. I think you were on stream. This might have been when you first joined the stream for the first time when we were building this station.
First building the. Was it Rugeley Junction? No.
It's Rugeley Central.
Rugeley Central. Okay.
Yeah, and
but it's a big junction point before two major lines diverge.
Exactly, and it's remarkable. This hasn't really changed much at all since then. Like
no,
at all.
It's the same.
Because it's always kind of done its job, which is interesting. Right, I'm going to now stroll through it because hopefully we've got have we got any prompts for closing industries? Oh, we haven't yet. Interesting.
Someone suggests enabling American and Asian.
No, I know people have suggested
vehicles.
that, and I thought about that for a while, but then I had a look at the difference, and they just look awful scaling wise. So, and also it kind of narratively it's a bit messy. So you know what? I'm sticking to European for this. I'm happy with the number of European trains. It does the job. Yeah, there are definitely some gaps and shortcomings, and yes, I could bring those in myself in mod, but I'm sticking rigidly to vanilla only. This is the Great Central running along here between between Rugeley and Mag Hull and beyond to Shanklin. This was the Great Central. I was watching the race to the west the other day. Do you remember when it was nearly going to win and it was about 2 minutes ahead of the BS and WR and then it got stuck?
It got trapped. Yeah,
it got trapped here, much like this one is. Here's a train in the new. So this is the new Amphitros Railways livery. This nice sort of. This nice red. It's kind of a nice scarlet. I think it looks good. It's quite nice. Red colour. I think it looks great, actually. So it complements the darker Express colour quite nicely, I think. There's like a burgundy for the Expresses. There we are. So there we go. Population of our various settlements, by the way, if anyone's curious. Here we are. In terms of size, Bradshaw is the biggest, followed by Kingston, then Shanklin, so we're above Shanklin right now. And Mag Hull, Stratford, Haverhill, and Paignton. Actually, you know what we're going to do? We're going to go over here. Going over to Haverhill, because first of all, Bury is going to be called... We're calling it Old Bury. Why, you might ask? Well, because Haverhill was never supposed to be this whole big city. It was always just sort of this nice coastal bit, which is exactly what it should be. But this is now, the whole area, this whole metropolitan area is called, confusingly, that's now Bury, this is Old Bury. So this whole thing is one thing. There we go. Just to possibly irritate people. There we go. There we go. What else? So I think we need to have a look at this rolling stock situation, don't we? Also, hello to the cash flow situation. Good grief. What was that? Minus 85 million. Minus 85 million. We are doing well on the finances. So let's go into our trains and let's, I think, possibly go for... It's paused again, hasn't it? There we go. Yeah, so if I go to here, the expresses I think are all fine. Oh, you can see most of the expresses are in this nice burgundy, but there are a couple that are... Oh, that one happened. I was like, wait, that's not a train. What? I think that is a train currently in the Royal Victoria Tunnel, is my guess.
That makes some sense.
That's where that is. We'll keep an eye out for that one when it appears. There we are. Yeah, it's going past. It's nice burgundy, but this one, the difference in this one that we can't see because it's currently in the tunnel, hammering away at 75 miles an hour. It's not hanging about. Fair play. Oh, I'm interested to know how much this one slows down coming out the tunnel. Also, they added functionality that I asked them to in an email, which is this.
So excited. I can't see it yet.
Well, they've added a horn. You can't hear it either, but they've added a horn. That's the functionality they've added.
Fine.
What I should have done is shared the stream with you as well through Discord, but I had a feeling that me streaming twice might not have done the
that's
frame
not
rate
the
that much good.
Most performant option.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, the whistle's not bad. Anyway, I'm blowing the whistle like there's no tomorrow on this train. So this is a train that is not painted in the normal livery. It's got this kind of experimental livery. This kind of grey silver, I think just kind of the exposed metal, which again I quite like this actually. But it's a bit of an experimental, or either it's experimental or it's just the primer and they've not bothered to paint it yet. I don't know, but that's what the colour is currently, and I think it looks quite good. Anyway,
austerity livery.
Yeah, something like that. Just something a bit different. So what was I doing? The expresses are all fine, so we don't have to worry about those. Good grief, there are so many expresses though. Good grief. So that's that. We've got goods trains. I'm not worried about. What I am interested in is the. Oh my god, so many goods trains as well. Yeah, these local services. I'm interested to know what rolling stock these local services are rolling with. Because most of it's not in great condition, and I kind of feel like this is the point where they might start replacing with new... Ooh, interesting. Abandoned industries going to close. There we go. For anyone who's not seen this functionality, abandoned industries are going to disappear. They disappear after 2 years, I think. 2 and a bit years, there we are. So that's quite useful. There we are. So what do you think, Jake? Oh, go on.
I was going to say, you're going to have to stay on top of some of these industries and maybe tactically abandon them to try to get place out by, like, not Bradshaw.
Yeah, some of the, like, there's that one in Shanklin that's right next to the station. Yeah, that
exactly.
one. I'm really hoping that one.
Your throat.
Yeah, well, nothing uses it, so that potentially could be up for replacement.
Then you're going to have to sit on top of that and for the great land grab.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, just straight in there and make sure that nothing, like, no private development dies in, and just tactically claim it. So yeah, some of this is not in bad condition though. The thing is, I think some of these local services. So this one is, where is this? This local Ashbourne Ferry. What is this doing? It's in Kingston at the moment. Oh, look at the Kingston throat, which again you can't see. Oh, there's a nice double header pulling past as well. This is for anyone who's not familiar with the series. This is the Kingston station throat. It's got to be one of the most spectacular, sort of complex station throats I've ever seen. It's pushing Newcastle East Junction hard on. I think it's actually more. There are more diamonds here than there were at Newcastle East Junction in the real world. So anyway, yeah, some nice double headers. Oh my god, so many. I think the game is kind of catching up with the fact that we have so many large towns, and it's increasing the different sort of all these new cargo types that it's accepting. I think just because all the cities are so large in this map, relatively speaking. There we go. Okay, fine. You know what? I think they don't look. These aren't too bad. Also, this one's making money, so I kind of don't want to really interrupt that. It's not making much money, but it is at least kind of. Oh no. Okay. I take it some maintenance budget was just spent because it just dropped from 2,000 in the black to minus 200,000 in the red. Yeah, crikey. Is there a list with abandoned industries countdowns? Asks Jagger. There is. If I go to this button here, and then I scroll up, you can sort of. It's kind of they jump out as being. Look, there's this nice blue, and it gives me how long it's going to be until it gets abandoned. So that's quite nice. So it shows up in blue. There's no way to filter it to show them all at one place, of course. That never works. But what I might do is, for example, I could probably just rename it. So if I rename it to this, if it's going to get that happen to it, then maybe that means it'll be at the top now. That should, if I just double asterisk it, I presume that's now at the top. Yeah, it is. So maybe that's the way I'll do it. If it's going to get abandoned, I'll double asterisk it. Again, me having to do things the game isn't doing. It being stuck leaving Kingston Station probably isn't helping the cash flow. Kingston Station actually works remarkably well. Also, I do love looking at long trains. There's just something intensely pleasing about looking at long trains.
There is. Which, of course, makes this game, again, the fact that it's balanced for just incredibly intensive, like, four-car services boggles the mind.
Yeah, it really does not like long... It does not like infrequent... Like, the game, it just does not reward you for infrequent long trains. It needs... It's serious, intense...
anything. It wants you to have a train every 10 minutes for coal.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
oh, man.
There's just... No, yeah, and there's so many ways to do it, right? You could have it where you get, revenue boosts from premium class service, extra fare trains.
Yeah, it could have first and second class functionality. So you balance like more first class, more second class, more revenue versus fewer seats, all that sort of stuff that it could include, but doesn't.
Or lounge cars and things like that, right?
Yeah, that increase the revenue.
But it increases the revenue of this train, of every ticket you sell, by 10%.
Exactly.
Right? Or do you make the train 10% longer, or whatever, or have it be the longer distance the train is, the more you pay for your ticket, whatever.
Yeah. So one thing they have, I'm going to say something nice about the team, because maybe some of them are watching this. I don't know. There are about 7 of them, so I don't know. Maybe at some point, if any of you are watching this, I do like the fact that the station buildings now have a purpose. So if I go to terminals here, they have finally.
What's exciting is they're still looking at stuff and they're still improving it. So I'm like, I really hope that they can add. It wouldn't be too hard to go in and just like change the window patterns on a handful of the cars.
Exactly.
And then be like, yep, this is or have it so you can select your interior, and this becomes a dining car, which increases revenue in some way, or whatever.
There's so many opportunities for that. Look, Kingston Station buildings are getting full, which is interesting. But you can see there's the the buildings now have a capacity. So, for example, if we go up to our lovely northern city of Lowestoft, here we go. Going to go up to Lowestoft. Here it is. Let's face north south to make everyone's life a bit easier. Here's Lowestoft. This is our big northern port here, and big Lowestoft station here, which has had massive rebuilds in the interwar years. This one has. Let's do this. Capacity for 435 passengers. Just stood inside it because this an enormous station hall. It's like a proper Italian station sort of. It's epic. Anyway, so that has some decent capacity. So that means that these stations can get a lot more full, which is good, and it's added functionality. Another thing that's good that they've added is, have I got an example of some of this? Yes, I do. Let's go to Ella Chemicals. Road stations now have buildings, so you can now have warehousing. So that is interesting because I suppose for modders you can now make Amazon warehouses and stuff. So you can make big for them to get destroyed in a tornado and kill a load of staff. But anyway, you can now add warehousing, which is quite good. So that I quite like. That's good functionality. And all of my big freight stations that have huge amounts of warehousing, this now counts for something. Because I've got 400 extra capacity thanks to deciding to. Because you were paying. These made the buildings more expensive in the previous version of the game, but they added nothing.
Do anything.
Yeah. So at least
that's the sort of thing. It's great that they're kind of going back and modifying gameplay like that, which is awesome.
Sure. And they've got things like time progression already exists for certain types of buildings. So now they just need to get rid of the yellow lines. Get rid of the skips and the barrels and things that just didn't exist. Get rid of the LED lights. Those did not exist.
The modern street lights.
Yeah, the pallet. Look, this pallet truck. Not a thing until probably the 1960s. Anyway, so that little things like that they could add. It'd be nice if they just had time progression on these because they could look older and then as they get through it look newer. It just was nice. Ooh, another industry is going to get abandoned. That's quite nice. This one. That makes sense, because I don't think I've ever used it. Fine. So you get this little ticker here, gonna close in a certain number of days. And basically, if you attach something to it, it'll abort that. So if I decided I did like this, I could just hook it in, and it would abort that abandonment process.
Quickly, run
which
a truck there.
I think I was a bit worried about this to start with, but actually I think that's quite a useful mechanic. I think it's quite nice.
Yeah.
And they then, when they delete them, depending on what balance you've picked for where they're going to place new ones, they will place new ones. And I let it run a bit. They're not too... The placement of the new ones isn't too crazy. So, yeah, so that could be quite interesting. You know, for the kind of the general shifting this way and that way of kind of industries popping up here and there. Yeah, so that's all good stuff. Jay, sorry, I interrupted you earlier. Is there anywhere else you'd like to go? Do you want to go somewhere and have a look at anything? Because we're kind of idling for time a bit without really much going on in game for now until basically we've got a few months to kill in game. So if you want to go and have a little look anywhere in particular, give me a shout.
I mean, I think just kind of an overall look at different service types, I guess. Like, you know,
yeah.
again, I'm hoping there's a bunch of new viewers who are going to go and subscribe to your channel and follow this, because
yes, that's
a great series.
That's it. It's the relaunch of the series. I keep forgetting that everyone. Hello to everyone who's no idea what this is, and like I'm stealing a lot of viewers from Bisquickelhausen, which is Jay, very kind of you. So this line here, people are wondering. This looks like a very straight line. This is very grand. This was a railway line that was built kind of quite late on. Probably, I think it was the last mainline railway that was built on the map. This is the Southwestern Joint or Southwestern Junction Railway, Southwestern Joint Railway, the SWJR, and you can see it was built to very high standard, kind of with the intention of providing fast passenger services, but also for goods. So it's incredibly busy. If I get the freight layer up here, you can see that it is like intensively used for freight, like a lot of freight. And yeah, like if you go down here, it's just like it's like 1,500, nearly 1,600 units of freight, which for this game means saturation in terms of how much freight you're carrying.
That's a ton.
So it's a really busy... The other thing you might notice is bits of this railway line are electrified, or rather the wires, the infrastructure has been erected. Because pre-war, this was being electrified. The intention was to electrify this as the first mainline electrified railway. And they just didn't finish. The war interrupted it. So you can see we kind of reached electrified up to a point and then just didn't get much further. So, you know, they've kind of half finished the infrastructure. And post-war, this is changing. They have, you know, some of the infrastructure. The situation we're in now is where the post-war, they're like, right, okay, we're gonna do this. We're gonna electrify it. We're actually gonna finish this electrification. We're gonna have an electrified mainline. So maybe I should do some of that. Let's do that. Here we are. Let's see. Yeah, so I'm going to just keep doing this. Let's do a bit more electrification. They're going to electrify the sidings with the hope that they have some electric freight. That's a long-term aspiration. Spotify's paused again. Now, it used to be that I had a play... The trouble is that my play pause button on my mouse is play pausing YouTube, not Spotify.
Oh, interesting.
So I'm having an eternal battle with the audio. Anyone who wants to tell me where the button is in the Discord chat to make that stop being a thing, feel free to inform me of that. That would be a useful bit of intel, I think. There we are. So, well, I'm just trying to remember myself. What else have we got? Did we electrify all the way? Oh no, there's still gaps down here as well. So they've definitely got bits of electrification they've not done. So we'll do some of that as well. Generally, they're just doing some. They're continuing work on electrification of the SWJR. This kind of major nice main line. It's quite nice because you get this old station. This was an old station built by the Great Western, and it's a bit rubbish. It's just a bit of a weird station layout. It's got this kind of weird island situation. Another one being abandoned in Mag Hull. That's interesting. And whereas you've got this nice new station that kind of comes in over the top, which I quite like, and it's got this lovely sort of flanking platform situation with the platform loops, which is nice. Yeah, this railway is nice. Also, it's full. So during the Second World War, this line was ramping up in its freight use massively. And the other challenge you've got is that this main line relies on a really congested bit of railway through this place, Harrogate. And yes, it's now got station loops, but it still gets very busy. And worse than that is that there is definitely a station down here that doesn't have station loops. Harrogate Bay Station, which is a sort of a suburban railway station, really. This one, whenever a train stops, obviously that clogs up everything behind it. It's a little regional train going through there. What's it off to? Off to Droitwich from Lowestoft. Lovely.
And this is that awesome tech debt that you have to deal with in
Yeah.
a realistic way.
Yeah, like how are we going to deal with this? Like, what is the way to deal with this? Also, there is a suburban electric service running through Harrogate. Look at this weird sort of situation where you've got this little multiple unit, but it's just hauling a little like car, like almost a caboose, like behind it, just to boost the numbers a bit, which is quite strange. So yeah, there's this strange situation where you've got this suburban railway network running through that's electrified, and then this main line that is not electrified and not completely electrified yet. In terms of services, it's an interesting point. I'll just show this. So if we bring up, actually, it's probably better if I do it here. If I click here and just go rail and give you an idea of the sorts of services. So we've got a whole load of express services that generally are kind of limited stop. So they run either directly or at least directly with maybe one intermediate stop from kind of the major station to another major station. Obviously, we've got lots of freight services that just dart around the whole island, doing all sorts of things. A huge range of freight, like tiny little trains. For example, this one here that we're going to go and have a look at right now. This train here. It's just a little local service. Look at this, just a little poxy local thing. Sounding knackered as well, and looking knackered. Yeah, crikey. Anyway, yeah, it's a nice little mixed goods sort of train here. It's quite nice. I don't know why I haven't done that before, because I think that looks awesome. I really like the little mixed goods train, even though half of it is basically game redundant. But anyway.
Oh yeah, I was going to say, because the game hates it.
The game hates it, that's why. It wants single-use, long, ugly trains. They're just not realistic. This is what most goods, like, in terms of the number of trains, not necessarily in terms of tonnage, but in terms of, like, the number of trains, at this point in Britain, lots of goods trains look like this. Like, very limited sort of load, like individual loads, like little box cars like this, these sort of covered wagons, just really not very efficient.
Having a generic, like, quote unquote goods type that just gets generated by cities and goes to other, the fact that all the freight stuff comes from these one giant places.
Yeah, it's a bit
these huge producer locations.
It is a shame that there's not like a desire. Basically, if there was mixed goods and parcel desire between the urban areas, so obviously industrial, fine, but it's a real shame that they can't that you can't have like parcels or some sort of limited goods output from the urban areas that you then have to transport between urban areas. That feels like a missed opportunity.
Yeah, just some sort of manufactured goods.
Yeah, exactly. So, for example, this is a distillery. They make whiskey here, Lochcaster Distillery. Very nice. They make whiskey. Anyway, so we've got lots of good services. You can see all the different good services here. And we've got these local services. So these are, you can see some of these local services, they've clearly just decided they don't care so much for painting these up because they're quite old and quite knackered. So, for example, this little thing here, if we go and have a look at this one, this is the this little ferry service that actually I think it's reasonably busy, but yeah, just this little chuff. Here you can see whizzing along, very nice. So a very wide range of sort of these local services, but then the local services also count as these things that I think are quite a bit busier. Yeah, these services here that are a bit more substantial, running. Yeah, I see more substantial local services running. I think that's running into Wakefield, then to Hartlepool. Kind of looks like it's Stratford to Hartlepool there. So yeah, you've got a range of those, and then you've got these services, what are used to be run by the Metropolitan Railway. These services here, and there are loads of them. This is the big suburban electric railway services that exist across Bradshaw. So this whole area really is a suburban network. Oh my god, these notifications are irritating. And you can see the site. This is Bradshaw, which is the capital city, but it really merges into one with Shildon. So that's one large urban area. Bodmin here is pretty large. Market Harborough. Finsbury is expanding northwards, so this eventually might merge into it as well. And then Liverpool's a little bit further out, and then Ellesmere is almost kind of getting into suburbia, if you like, if not sort of mid-rural suburbia. But there's got a couple of railway stations here. You see South Ellesmere. A few people catching the train. So you've got this range of services. So these are all run by electric suburban trains. So it's a very different network to the rest of the railway. There's not any long distance services running through here. There is a mixed station here, which was built by the Southern. Actually, was it built by the BS and WR? No, it was built by the Southern Railway originally, before grouping. This big station here, Shildon Victoria, which does have long distance services that come in that arrive, but it's got all these suburban trains too. There. That they've kept yellow, interestingly. I don't know whether that's because the local depot is like a bit protective of their nice yellow electric trains. But anyway. What else?
No matter
Right.
how many times you tell them to paint it company colors.
Yeah, exactly. No matter how many times they're resisting, yeah, for sure. And you see, it's not that many services, but there's a fair pile of different services running. So you've got the ones that run from Bradshaw Metropolitan, which is the station up here. You can see they're all bright yellow as well to make it a bit easier for me to see them. Now that we've got nice colours that we can show, it's nice and easy, bright yellow to show the electrified suburban services here in Bradshaw. And yeah, there it is. There's Bradshaw Metropolitan, a pretty old station. This was the first sort of big station actually, it was the second major station. I think Bradshaw Central, what is now Bradshaw Central, is the first. But there it is. You can see this nice. It's got this nice viaduct through the centre of the city as well. Here, there it is. So if you remember that plan from 1948, that plan originally was talking about running tunnels. So basically, abandoning this viaduct and actually running tunnels underneath this, splitting out and joining up to the northern line, the kind of the north-facing lines here. And then the east coast sort of lines here, so providing these sort of chord, kind of a tunnel through here. How that would actually work in game, I have thought about this a bit, but anyway, that report is sitting on a shelf gathering dust because there's no particular appetite to implement its findings at this point. So, rip. Such is life.
All it takes is for one important person's train to be delayed one too many times on the way into work, though.
It's true. Just need to delay someone important's train, and then a plan might find its way into becoming a project. For sure. So we've got rid of trams in. Oh, I tell you what, we need to do actually. So there's some interesting bits and pieces going on. We want to head over to. We're going to head over here. So we're heading over to Bury. What is it? It's the 24th of February. Because we've got. Where are we? We're going to go through this whole pain again. How many trams have we got here? We've got 5. Because I'm afraid yet another tram system is about to get replaced. Now, Jesus, what was the process for this again? No vehicles.
The trams, buy all the buses, it converts itself.
That's it. Okay, right. So that's what we need to do. We're going to click on here. Oh, I'll finish my services conversation first, though, for anyone who's watching. So yeah, so you've got Metropolitan Service. Then you've got all these stoppers, which are probably form the backbone of the rail network, which is generally longer distance services, so they're running kind of between major cities, but they're stopping at most, if not all, stations. So there's a lot of people travel on these trains, and they have pretty decent capacity because they're pretty well used. So you can see there's hundreds of people using these trains. And then the last lot are the suburban services, so they're not the electrified trains in and around. Basically, the Met trains are all the ones that are in and around Bradshaw, the former Metropolitan Railway, which was a railway company before grouping, still called the Metropolitan trains. But actually, the suburban ones are the ones doing similar jobs in other cities. So, and indeed, north-facing out of Bradshaw as well. So that's all those ones. And interestingly, the Amphitros Railways are trialling a suburban livery that is the grey. So they're trying out the grey, or at least they're not really sure what colour to use. Interesting, there is a black train here. I think I did actually try. Yeah, look, it's black and not sure how that looks. One of the annoying things is you can't individually paint bits of the train, so black coaches look a bit weird. But the black loco looks realistic, so yeah, anyway. Right, I've got myself totally distracted. We're going back over to Bury. Let's go over here. So, sequence is... let's go for... we're going to go for all the local trams, and we're going to sell... Wait, first I need to check how many there are. I want sort of 5, 7, 5, 14, 10, 5. None of that is useful to me, actually. I'm just going to sell them all. They're gone.
Somebody asks... Oh, it's Brian. Brian asks...
Hi, Brian.
How much would you want the TPF devs to model track mechanics, such as being able to transition from labor-intensive jointed rail to ribbon rail, or CWR? So, yeah, that's an interesting question. So there is a bit of track mechanic in this, because you've got the speed change from improving to, like, improved concrete sleepers and stuff. So to an extent, that is sort of partially modelled. I think there are other things I'd do first. Much as I'm a track engineer, it'd be fun, and I think there are lots of opportunities with that side of things that they could do with this. You know, they could definitely do some interesting track-based stuff in the game. I think there are other priorities that I'd put first, but it would be interesting. But I think things like age, I think putting age mechanics onto the industries is got to be a priority. I know that's an art thing, so that's really probably quite expensive.
But from a dev perspective, quite straightforward because you just need to add. It's probably not complicated to just add. You just I presume add just time-related callouts to the different models.
Yep. I was actually going to suggest similar for. I think aging infrastructure would be very cool as well. Like have the tracks age, and maintenance cost creeps up until you decide to bite the bullet and do a full overhaul.
Yeah, or that'd be good.
Speeds slowly drop until you bite the bullet and do a full expensive overhaul.
Yeah, I think some mechanics like that would be really interesting because if you've got particularly grass growing through it, it's decaying. I think that becomes quite interesting. For sure. So I think that could get very interesting, but I think there are bigger economic things in the game that I think they should do first. I think I'd almost say like if they could be better at implementing mixed goods. I know that is potentially quite tricky with the way the game is set up. That'd be quite nice if they could do that. I think there's certainly an opportunity there. I think. Hello to everyone watching, by the way. There's 55 people watching right now, which is it's great to have you all along.
Not bad.
Welcome. We're in Bury. This is Bury. This is kind of the coastal bit here is Haverhill, which is a bit of a popular sun trap. If we go over here, it's very popular. So now I've just done that. Now if I buy all those buses, what have we got? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lines. So let's go with 6 buses per line to start with, and then sort of see which ones get busy and which ones are empty, and then maybe do some jiggling around. To do that, I need to find a road depot, which I presume there is one somewhere. No, there's one here. No, that's a tram depot. We'd probably demolish the tram depot in Stratford, actually, don't we? Let's see. Yeah, I'm gonna build a new one. I don't know where it is. Let's build a new road depot for the buses. Let's build it here as well, actually. Feels like a nice place to put it. Lovely. There. This is not.
Interesting. Somebody says that the getting mixed goods trains are what they'd intended for the cities accepting additional goods to do, which makes a lot of sense.
Okay. Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah. Brian, are you a dev watching this? Is that what's happening?
No,
but
Brian's a pal.
Oh, good. Hi, Brian. Lovely to have you on. Bury Municipal Bus Company Depot. There we go.
He's on Discord.
Hello. So, oh wait, I know Brian. Yeah, I know Brian.
Yeah. I was gonna say you should know.
I know Brian.
I'm like, how much do I want to share?
Sorry. Yes. Right. So we've got the municipal bus company, which is taking over the municipal tramways. We now need to buy a load of buses, don't we? So what buses are we going for? More of these, I think. These are going to become pretty much ubiquitous, aren't they? What was that? 6 lines, 6 buses, 36. We're going to paint. Ooh, should we continue the kind of the municipal color? Maybe. Maybe. Let's go for it. Let's go for a custom color, shall we? Let's see how this works. Oh god. This is where I need to prepare my hexadecimals before the stream because it's hard to find nice colors. Let's go for like a bit more like that, maybe. There, like that. That's nice, maybe. 2A, 2B, AA, 2B, 4C. I'm going to say C there. Whatever that color is, we're making it happen. Right, good. There. Load of buses that are probably not a dissimilar color. We're going for that. Okay, right now, I need to send these to... Right. Before I bugger this up, is this now going to work if I attach these to that other line? Yes. I think it will. Let's do this. Okay. And there. Now, if I do this, the answer is no. Oh no, they're not broken though. They are working. They seem to be. Okay. Okay, right, so I've got 4 here. That's run by buses, that's run by buses, that's run by buses. Okay. Right. Bury Municipal Bus Company, BMBC, Bury to Haverhill North, fine. I'm always unnerved as to, is this going to work or is it just not going to work? We'll find out momentarily, I presume. Right. Also, yeah, everyone who's watching this is like, why is he renaming things? Why is he taking so much time over this and wasting and just not providing us any content? That's kind of the deal. It's slow, gentle telly that you can watch live and then send me things. Oh, you can absolutely paint different parts of a train contest different colours. A guy called Pi says, yeah, you can do that when you're buying it new, but not to an existing train.
But we're not even sure if you can still do that when you're buying.
Yeah, you're right. We haven't tried that. We are going to buy it. We are going to do that soon, and we'll find out momentarily. But yeah, you're right. We don't even know if we can do that at this point
anymore.
Yeah. So that if they've got rid of that, I hope that's only temporary because it's very nice to be able to paint different bits and pieces, different colors. And I was kind of planning on that in late game when you've got like freight stuff. It needs to be different colors because it's part of Anyway.
Oh look.
Not that we don't have. I mean, there is a serious omission in this game, and it's a problem because it just renders everything after the 1970s onwards rubbish in terms of goods, and that's containerization. But we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that in a few episodes because freight don't work like it does in the game after 1970. Then we want this to go to number 3. There we go.
No, I mean there's fractionally little penalty towards transloading stuff, so maybe you're just containerized from the start.
Yeah, good point. That is a good point.
Right, just teleports in and out of the trains.
Oh god, now I don't remember.
They have a loading speed thing too, so I wonder if they'd even be able to patch it so that just like certain containerized cars have, just even graphically, you just haul around a bunch of intermodal cars and they just have some absurdly high loading speed penalty. Or, you know what I mean? Absurdly high loading speed, and other ones have, everything else has, you might see at most plus 10% loading speed. And then for, you hit containerization, and it's 500% loading speed or something absurd.
Yeah, that could be interesting. I mean, yeah, for sure, like the lack of containerization and the fact that you don't have container ships and that whole process is something that, it feels like an omission. Right, have I done this right? This looks like it might have worked. I'm not seeing any red angriness up here, which is kind of good. They're leaving their trams in place. Their lines are being left in place for now, but with the intention that they pretend that it's like a trial. So they've done it in a way of the Bury sort of city council have gone, we're not getting rid of our trams necessarily. We're just trialing new buses. So there we go. So that's happening. Fine. What I do want to do though is this trick actually, because I think we need to have a look at. Let's have a look. Lines. We need to balance up the. No, it still counts as a tram line, even though it's got buses on it. Whatever. Okay, fine. As long as it works. Is it going to work? Maybe. Anyway, is the frequency of these. I kind of want the rates to be balanced on these a bit better. So I think I'm going to need a few more. Okay, so we can fix that on. So if I pin this, there's some nice line management going on here, and then go into here. So I want them all to be above 100. So Bury to Haverhill North, that needs maybe. Let's see. That's now at 78. So I'm just watching the rate thing here, because ultimately rate is the important thing to kind of get a reasonably evenly matched rate. I think the next one will be over 100. Come on. Yeah, okay, good. And we basically need double for this one. I think we need double. That's that Bury to Haverhill South. That's going to need probably just to double the whole lot, I think. Yeah. And that should bring us up to 100, I think. Wait for it. Or it could crash the game, either or.
Oh.
No, it's fine, we're good. There we go. Yeah, I know, right.
So a little scare is always helpful every once in a while, right?
Yeah, just a little bit of like,
keeps you on your toes.
Yeah, precisely. It would be no fun without it. And then number 2 just needs a boost of a couple. Here we are. Just realized, yeah, we're in February 1949. Okay, we can probably keep moving actually. That's that. There we go. Oh, one more then. Fine, clearly. Oh, Kroll is accepting a new cargo type. Excellent. Actually, I did notice one other thing, which is we got a new tram, didn't we? So if I go down to
just in time.
yeah, just in time, we got a new tram because we're gonna go to Bradshaw because Bradshaw is, to be fair, they've got their big municipal transport authority, and they are going to do something different. They are going to replace all of Bradshaw's trams. So let's do that. Goddamn, we're going to do it. We're going in here and in here. Trams. BT. Is that all of them? I think that should be all of them, and there might be some. Yeah, because they're all numbered, and the 101s are Kingston. The 001s are all Bradshaw and Shildon. We're going to replace all of these vehicles with the new tram, this new shiny looking ATM 4000, which is exciting. We're doing it. Let's do it. No, it should mean that we've got lots of nice trams going around now. There we are. Oh yeah, these look nice. They're nice. I like those. Right. Oh, they're like nicely articulated too. Very snazzy. Let's go to Lowestoft and do the same thing, shall we? Actually, let's give Lowestoft a tram upgrade. Always feel for Lowestoft up here in the north. Always getting second dibs. Let's go in here. Let's see what we've got. Lowestoft tramways.
They got new stuff. Is that really second dibs, right? If they, in canon, bought all the trams from the other cities.
Oh yeah, that's true.
That's second dibs.
Yeah, that's true. Let's do it. Give them the old. I mean, you know, if I had enough cash to do that, because I don't. Let's do this. I'm curious to see what our population is doing, actually. So we just replaced all those trams. Very nice. Here's Lowestoft. Looking very busy. Oh, actually, while we're here, what are these industry things? How long have we got before these industries disappear? I'm kind of interested to see what happens when they actually disappear. Oh, absolutely ages away still. So you've got loads of time, basically. Like, when you get that warning, there's loads of time before it actually disappears. So, yeah. Is that tram a new model? I don't think so. It's an in-game. This is vanilla. There it is. Looks nice. Looks very nice, actually. Looks nicer than quite a lot of the trams currently in Belgrade that I travel on quite a lot when I'm over there. Crikey. Right. I was going to do a thing, and I've forgotten. What was the thing I was going to do? I was going to do a thing. It's gone. It's gone from my mind. Bury is, I mean, we talk about Bradshaw and Shildon looking huge. Bury is pretty sizable. Good grief. Yeah. There we go. So let's go down this way. There was definitely something else I was going to do, and it's totally, just entirely departed my brain. Oh well. Was there a new what was there a new? Oh, I know what it was. Well, no, that's not it. But I'm going to do it anyway because it's something else. Which is we're going to go up to Stratford, where there's probably a tram building somewhere that we're going to demolish. Where is it? There's got to be one somewhere. I mean, oh, the way I could tell is probably by switching this on is the way to actually find it. There we go. And maybe turn this off, because goodness grief. There we are. Let's do that. That makes my life a bit easier. There we are. Is that the tram stop? It is, yeah. Let's just, I always like to... There we are. Let's get a bit of... Oh, do this, and this. There. No, bit larger than that. It's gone. It's gone. Yeah. R.I.P. that building. Tram building has gone. Very nice. Yeah. Stratford, rid of its trams completely.
Goodbye.
Goodbye to them.
We hardly knew ye.
We hardly knew ye, yeah. Ashbourne Ferry is down here and still This station is
Okay.
not running anything, is it? No, it's empty. So it's just been running up to Ashbourne Town, which gets a reasonable. It's getting a reasonable ridership. Oh, population was what I was going to look at, wasn't it? I was going to look at the. So now I have to remember how to do that. Yes, here we are. Charts, towns.
So if you want to repaint a train into different colors, sorry.
Oh, here we are.
You
Separate
want to
parts.
recolor
Oh, okay, yes.
into a new train, yeah, and then put it back together.
Nadir, good shout. That's a very good point. It's a faff. The trouble is that works if you've got like 6 trains on your map. Okay, current population.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's gonna be a huge pain in your ass.
Yeah,
but
bearing
it's
in
possible.
mind, I currently have nearly 500 trains on the map. So yeah. Ooh, crikey. Sorry, I didn't actually tell everyone what the population was there. The population is 51,000. I mean, that's a sizable number of humans. You can see the amount of track we've got. We've got about 820 kilometers of track on the map, of which a little bit is electric. There's a bit of electric here, so that's good. Yeah. Cash is just always a disaster. What is it? Yeah. It's best not to worry too much about the cash flow situation, to be honest. Yeah. So that's Ashbourne. I mean, there's still... You know what's quite funny is that this map is sprawling with stuff, but there's still quite a lot of open green space. Given that we've built, we've got like all the airfields that were built during the war, all these coastal airfields that are everywhere. Yeah. Yeah. So, given that Bradshaw is now calling for... Okay, the only problem with like the secondary goods is that they don't really call for much of it, so you have to like literally deliver it individually to one building if there's a demand for it, which is a bit weird, as you imagine. But you know what? We're going to try it. We're going to go up to Maghull, and I'm going to just establish... Well, firstly, I'm going to go down here, actually. Sorry, back to Bradshaw. And work out where the hell that individual demand for a single loaf of bread is. It's here. Oh, there are a few, actually. Okay. So the next thing to work out is whether there is a goods delivery thing nearby, and the answer is no, there isn't. Okay. I don't know how the mechanic works in terms of whether it redistributes and decides to swap the tools for kind of loaves of bread, or whether it's door hanger 93. Best not to worry about the cash flow situation at the moment. British Rail 1948. Yeah, quite. Anyway, I don't know how this mechanic works, and I suppose we'll get to know this mechanic. Yeah, I'm kind of in the position where I used to know all the game mechanics, and then they've all changed a little bit, and I'm going to have to relearn them a bit to learn how to kind of get them working. In the meantime, I'm going to plant a cargo delivery thing here. Yes, there. I'm going to name it MJ. This might hint for any long-term players. There we are. There we are. For any long-term players, you'll know exactly what MJ and J Limited stands for. But for anyone who doesn't, I've got your back momentarily.
I remember.
Hey, the fact that I've got.
Remember...
Go on, Jay.
Well, I was about to say I don't remember what the M is, but now I do.
Yeah.
I was like, wait a minute.
Maghull Jams and Jellies. The fact that I have you, the world-famous Besquicklehausen, knowing Maghull Jams and Jellies Limited, I don't know whether I should count that as a small personal victory, or that the world is stranger than ever we thought possible. But, yes, that is correct. It's Maghull Jams and Jellies.
Again, anybody who's new here does not realize the depth of the lore over 100 years of this.
Oh my goodness, yes.
Of being every single industrial magnate and upset townspeople,
Yeah,
you had to roleplay everybody on this island.
I have roleplayed 51,344 people over
for
the
100
course of 100
years.
Yeah. And all the rest who've since died. So, right, we're going down to just plonk that to here. And it's just one individual truck, and I'm curious to see how well this works. Limited Bradshaw. Delivery. Let's see how well this works. Firstly, because I can't remember. We're going back up. Let's go back up here. Back to Maghull. We have to put some trucks onto it first. But it's going to pick up. What I want to do is, the other thing, of course, this is. I need to actually decide. So this is going to, it's going to load food. Yes. And then the other end, it's going to unload food. Yes. And I'm going to remind myself, what is the... just unload, but it's going to load if available. No, I'm going to load full all. But I'm going to time limit the stop time to... It's not going to stop for more than 10 seconds. So it's kind of a bit of a... It will hang around for a bit to get full. There we are. So we're going to see what this individual delivery company thing is, how it's going to go. It's going to be... What colour are we going to go for? Oh, God. How many so many choices. I'm going to have to... The thing is, there's only a limited number of custom colours you can go for, and I work out what colour is this going to be, and what colour... Also, what was realistic colour for things in the 1950s? That's the other challenge.
All brown.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. We're going to go for, like, a...
Various browns.
Various browns. Yeah, that's it. Let's go for, like, this, and then, like a slightly magenta grey. I don't know why. There, that'll do. That's what we're going for. It's like lilac. I'd go with lilac is what that is. And we're also going to pick that as the colour of the vehicles. However, I've done that. I need to pick a vehicle for it now, which I can do here. Fine. So I need a vehicle that carries food. 25 miles an hour. 37 miles an hour. Nice and fast, though. Oh, these 37. These are nice and fast. Oh, there's loads of them as well. Crikey. Food. No. All cargo. No. So the food is not a specific thing. So we can just pick between this or this. This carries 11. This carries 12. What's the benefit of it? Oh, emissions. Slightly. Let's go for... We're going to go for 8 of these. Yeah. That's not 8. 8. No. There.
8.
Thank you. Colour them all this lilac colour. And put them all onto this one. Now, hopefully that now means that there is a line here, which is going to start working. That's going to open, and a load of vans are going to come out, and they're going to start delivering to Bradshaw, I hope. That should
Remy Cardona says, the lore is slightly worrying. Yeah, now it's peacetime, though. When he was in the middle of the war and was doing lore, like, mortar attacks and, like, picking buildings to demolish.
Hey, wait, we can...
That's when it was... I was like, huh. He's like carefully grabbing the terraforming tools to add little craters in the countryside.
I have no idea what you're talking about at all. Oh. Well timed. Jay, you can't see this, but I am now zooming into... what I like about this is, just like in real life, you can't see the holes when you're down at ground level, but if you're up in a helicopter, you can see some holes in the ground.
You see a whole bunch of craters.
Yeah, and also this bit of bridge that had to get replaced for #reasons. Yeah. Yeah, so, yeah, that was that. Also, I wonder if the craters are still in Shanklin, where they had to rebuild the bits from where it was bombed out. The answer is yes. There are still some filled-in craters here in Shanklin. Someone put their house on top of one of them. Look, there it is. Oh, it's not a house. It's literally a total shop. Total shop there, and a house built on top of a massive crater hole. Anyway, yes.
Real estate.
The lore got deep. Right. Oh, the Bradshaw and Shildon Times, which has its own YouTube account somehow. By the way, go on Twitter and look at fan fiction is happening already. And it's the Bradshaw and Shildon Times, which is a newspaper that's picked out some headlines of the last sort of 50 years or so, which is quite nice. Oh, you made a Google account. The YouTube channel comes for free. I see. Thanks, Bradshaw and Shildon Times. Right. I was in the middle of doing a thing. What was that thing? Ah, yes. Oh, it's more lore time. So we've had quite a steady start to the stream, but more lore is to happen. I need to go to OBS to make this happen. So, what is the more lore happening? Well, firstly, it's me getting confused as to where my slides are. Yeah, good, fine.
How long until they find unexploded ordnance under people?
Yeah, quite. Yeah, how long before Total Shop is totaled?
Close sections of railway.
yeah, exactly. Oh my goodness. Right, we're going over here because it's 11th of May 1949, which means another piece of legislation has just been placed. And that piece of legislation is an interesting one for us because it's the Special Roads Act 1949. Now what does this one mean? Well, this one is basically the law that is introduced that allows the construction of motorways. And what's interesting about this is that it kind of the discussion around the act, not the act itself, but the discussion around the act refers to, in other words, basically up until this point, all roads could have services buried into them. If they were built, everyone had to use them. There was no limitation on how they could be used. And this point, this new law was introduced that changed all that. That it meant that all basically new roads could be built and they could choose what traffic could use them, which paved the way, as it were, for motorways. And then it's kind of referring to some old... So this is an old bit of document that I scrolled up from the archives of some just slightly pre-war planning for a series of what were called motorways, as in ways specifically built for motor vehicles rather than horse-drawn carriages, connecting up the various sort of urban areas within Amphitros. So you can sort of see, oh yeah, my mouse is actually sharing, isn't it? You can see my mouse, there it is. So you can sort of see there's an urban motorway going kind of through and around Bradshaw and Shildon, then up the east coast and round, and actually swinging around the bottom of Lowestoft and around. And you see some motorways there, fine. And the proposals for, so the 1949 Act is with the intention of building a new series of roads. And the socialist government is all for this because cars are seen as they're cheap. They're seen as a way of providing a sort of socialized travel for everyone, despite the fact that you might think a socialist government is pro-rail. Far from it. The unions are very pro roads because it means more workers building the roads in the first place. Also, cars have felt like a way to kind of enable the masses to move around. That's very much the view at this point.
People love the new hotness and the fact that cars are convenient and cool now, and not like a horseless carriage with the trunk being a physical trunk on the back of the car.
Exactly, they're incredibly. The idea is they're just super popular as a way for people to kind of get around, and everyone, no matter what color of kind of political color, they're seen as the future by everyone, absolutely everyone, or most people anyway.
Additionally, also because as we've seen looking around, all the rail stuff, all the rail cars and passenger cars and things are crap. Still,
everything's old. It's steam. People are seeing steam, and they're just like, it's steam trains. Those were things that Victorians travelled on. What is new about that? And
you still have, your local services, as you have like second, third gen coaches in the game still, and they didn't really, there was easily stuff in the immediate post-war that was pre-World War I still.
This stuff. Around. There's a regional train here. Look at it. It's got these coaches. God knows when these coaches are from, but these are ancient. There's an express. There's a regional there that's got slightly newer stock, but these passenger coaches are from they're from like the interwar, easily the interwar years, and potentially even from like pre-First World War. So there's a lot of old coaching stock around. Old. Talking of which, we are going to start. We're looking at. Oh God, there's so much new. Oh, actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to whiz up and see what those whether those trucks are actually making their way across. Let's kind of have a look. Is there a little convoy of them going in? Let's see. Oh, there they are. Yeah, okay. I might want to change the terminal of one of them. I might. Let's see. So this one. Is there an extra terminal I want to use? Not really. Fine, we're just going to go in there. Oh, I know what I could do, though, is use any terminal that is free. Let's just show that in action, actually. We can do that. So we want to go in for any of them. Just use any of them. Use any of them. Go. Oh, the game is it's looking a bit slow, and I'm not entirely sure why. Maybe it's because it's a very long-distance road journey. I'm kind of curious to see what route this takes, actually. What's the rate on the new jam delivery line? It'll be like 10. It'll be something embarrassingly low, I think, because it's such a long distance that they have to travel. But it's a bit of a trial for long... Basically, this Maghull Jams and Jellies are doing a bit of a trial for relying on long-distance truck and not relying on the way that they carry most of their stuff. You can see their sidings here. Most of their stuff goes by rail. But as you can see, Amphitros Railways is not providing them exactly the newest-looking kind of rolling stock. Yeah, this is... it's an alright condition, but it's not, you know, this is not the most spectacular sort of equipment. So, I think now these should... yeah, I'm just going to send this one on its way. Oh, what did we say? The details of this route. Yeah. 32. Oh, that's not so bad. I mean, it's nothing grand, but it's not so bad, I suppose. Okay. Yeah, Jay, you're exactly right. There's lots of knackered trains around. And in fact, I think we might see... if I go over... Let's head our way up. There's Shanklin. We're going to go to Bristol. And have a look at Bristol Station here. Let's see. It's really not. It's seeing a decline in use. Bristol, this line and Bristol Station is going to be... I'm afraid we're going to see it as our first loss. Our first railway loss. Because it's just... it's not doing... It's not being considered a success. It's not a very busy line at all. And it's just not... It's going to end. It's a service. It's going to end. They might not get rid of the railway quite yet, but the service is going. There we are. So let's do just that. Let's see. Let's get our train up. Also, yeah, it's not doing well. We're gonna first of all get rid of the vehicles. So we're going to send that to send to depot. Unable to find path to depot. Oh well. R.I.P. then, I guess. And it's gone. Service is gone. No service in the station. These people are all now just sort of sadly walking away. They're like, oh, well, damn it. Better get the bus then. Because, funnily enough, there is actually quite a good bus service around here, I believe. Yeah, it's quite a good bus service that they could catch that does the same thing. And actually, there's another service that's pretty, I've got a feeling, pretty ill-used. If I go to passenger here... Well, it's not. It doesn't look that bad, actually. Wait a minute. If I click... I'm curious to see what... So if I go on the service here again, have a look. I mean, it's not doing well. It's one train, and it's... I mean, it's got a few people in it, but it's just not... It's just a big loss maker, and there are... You know, there are alternatives, which is that you get the train from Orpington down to Stevenage, where you can change, probably, and, you know... Yeah, you can get a train. I'm pretty sure there's a train that runs into Blackpool. Yeah, Orpington into Blackpool that you could then change off. So basically, the thought is it's another line that just, you know, is that service really worth it? So it's another service that we're going to see sadly departing.
Somebody's opining that Bristol service wasn't able to be saved by rail buses.
Well, well, no, because we're seeing some, you know, service rationalisation happen before our arrival of the rail buses, which were... I realise I've titled the episode Rise of the Rail Buses, and it's already 2 hours and however many minutes in, and we've not even reached the point where the rail buses are actually arriving yet. This always happens when I name an episode. That's fine. It's easier when it's on my channel, because I can change it quickly. But anyway, it's fine. This one is... Basically, these are service duplications. These ones are kind of going... the rail buses are, trust me, going to be needed elsewhere. Let's see. So this, I want to just... can I just send this? Just let's sell this one, actually. Let's get rid of it. And then this one is going to go. It's gone. That's it. There we go. So there we go. Line closed. I mean, maybe Bristol will see a reprieve. Maybe the rail buses will return. You know, maybe the rail bus will service Bristol.
Yeah, infrastructure's still there.
The infrastructure's still there. Yeah, absolutely.
For now.
For now. You can see its ridership it was alright, and then it declined, and then it's really not recovered. So, you know, it's kind of interesting in that way, seeing this. The game does... So this is where the game mechanics sort of do seem to provide some level of emulation, which is quite interesting. Talking of which, need to do some physical works on this. I haven't finished electrifying this, did I? I got distracted before finishing the electrification. Let's do that. Where am I? I'm going up to... That's the Great Western. I don't want to electrify that. I want to electrify this. Here we go. There we go. There we go. And there. Crikey. Electrify the crossovers. There we are. And... understand. The other thing I'm supposed to do, when I'm whizzing around the map all the time, partly it's because I'm trying to spot if any, spotting if any, like, massive railway traffic jams have occurred without me noticing, because that can get a bit yikes. There we are, electrifying there, and that, and there, and there. Oh, come on, game. What are you doing? Okay, good. It's an interesting series of portals there. I don't quite understand what the game is doing. If Gary Keener was watching, he would be mostly baffled by the electrification decisions that the game is making for itself. But anyway, there we go. There, how blue is that? All blue now. Good. Now, challenge mode. So, our cash-strapped railways here they kind of make an interesting decision about what they're going to do in kind of joining the line. Do they electrify what is a very busy and quite kind of complicated railway system up into Lowestoft, over into the north here, which would involve electrifying all Lowestoft station and all these bridges and so on and so forth? No, what they actually decide to do is electrify into Chesterfield station here, and essentially terminate all of what were previously through services, including some through express services. They actually decide to terminate those terminate them in Chesterfield station here, which means we do need a crossover. So let's do that. It's a bit of track construction. Hooray!
Woohoo!
That's what everyone's been waiting for. There we go. Catenary, yes. Let's just pause for now. So this is station, I think. Yeah, that's a station. So just off the end of the station, going to have construction not possible. A little close. There we go. So 30 mile an hour turnout, lovely, and then another direction. 30, marvelous. There we go. Some nice crossovers put in to give a bit of flexibility. And P-Way is the way that P-Way looks is changing, by the way, and in terms of track alignments. As we're getting through the early part of this century, that it does make a difference to the way that track looks. So what did we just do there? I think that's all electrified, right? That should all be working. Oh no, that's the wrong one. Let's go with this. Yeah, that's all electrified. Nice. Now, do I want to electrify any further? Possibly just want to do sort of something like this, maybe. Deal with the overruns a bit and then no further. No, maybe not, Yeah. Right. Yeah, good. That's fine. Yeah, that's fine, because it kind of runs out the platform. Okay, right. So, as is off my style, I kind of let time get away from me a bit there, because I'm a day late. So yesterday, in game time, we will see the first electric services running, which is fun. We're going to do some changes. So, what we're going to do, first of all, I need to look at all the express services running through here. So we have got, oh my god, Bradshaw to Raleigh. Is that running on? No, that's there. Let's look at this. Yeah, okay, good. Is that it? Is it just two? Just stoppers? I thought there was an express service that used the... I was positive there was an express service that used the South Western Joint Railway. Have I dreamt it? Maybe. Oh, golly, I'm on a... Oh, let's just do that, and then... I was positive... Oh, maybe there's one up here. One of the services running on here as well. Is it? Maybe they're going this way? Golly. This is going slow because I've selected one of the stoppers that goes across the whole blinking map and calls everywhere. That always makes things a bit slower. And that one's not much better. Yeah, that'll do it. Oh yeah, there is a couple of expresses. Shildon to Frome and Droitwich to Frome. It's interesting that they... Yeah. Well, those can stay for now, but we're going to have our first... trying Okay, so that's all those services going that way. That spur's been electrified, but they've decided they're not. It's basically wasted because they're not going to electrify the Great Western. So that's basically going to have to stay as wherever the current trains are. But we do have trains running on here, and we're going to make these. We're going to pick these up, and there we are. So these run to lower stuff at the moment. So I just need to undo that. Where are we? Dorchester. Don't care for Dorchester. Have I got it from lower stuff? No, I do. Crikey. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. And that's just running from Chesterfield. And then I just need to get rid of that. That. And that. And I think that should work. I've not done all of the stations to pick their potential platforms, so I'm going to do that with this one. So, calling at both... Oh, it's only letting me do it 3, which is interesting. It should be able to do both, but we'll see. I bet the signals are preventing it. I bet I've got a single directional signal. Yeah, that'll do it. Let me just go in here as well. Jay, thanks for sitting in with me for 2 hours, by the way. You don't have to sit on the whole thing.
No problem.
Very kind of you to sit in and join. I suppose you're just sort of sitting and soaking in the same way everyone watching is.
Yeah.
While I, with my camera on, hello everyone who's watching with me in a little corner, with me having very concentrated face on. So this is now going to be Droitwich to Chesterfield. You know what I might end up doing is... I might end up giving you a new thumbnail and a new name for the episode, because
sounds good.
Since we've gone over 2 hours and we're nowhere near 1950 yet, but people are going to see some change because we're going to
nowhere near. We're 2 months away.
Oh yeah, but
3 months away.
You know what I'm like though.
I know.
There's so much more chaos. Right, I'm going to get rid of that and down. Do the same again on the other side. Yeah, so this is this was a thing that is familiar to anyone in the UK in GB for this sort of when there was post-war DC electrification, but a lot of it ended up happening on the cheap, and they made certain choices to curtail services that were electric, and indeed in some cases they changed locos. So they obviously you can't change locos in this game, but what actually happened is they changed locos at stations from an electric loco to a diesel loco, or to a steam loco even initially, but eventually then to diesel for some of their operations, which sounds wild, but that did happen because it meant they just didn't have to do any more electrification, because we hate electrification in Britain.
And for those of you in the US, you'll know that that's what they still do now.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, yeah.
To this day.
Well, we've got
they'll run some... Well, I was going to say, we have a handful of dual modes, but there absolutely are still engine changes for some of the northeastern trains to continue on, and it's absurd. And they have to, literally, they park the train for, scheduled an hour and a half at Washington, D.C. or whatever.
Okay, yeah, that is wild. An hour and a half is just not... An hour and a half, no train has a changeover at that length, other than possibly the sleeper in the UK. We're generally operational. We don't have the space to be able to do the things around that much, to be fair. So I suppose, don't get me wrong, there are lots of aspects of the US railroads that work well in terms of freight, but yeah, generally passenger services, we can't, by comparison, things are not that bad in the UK, sadly. Which is saying something given how much of a mess so much of our passenger services are. It's all relative, I suppose, isn't it?
Yep.
So, that's running in there. That means it should be terminating. I hope it's not doing a massive loop. So what I'm going to do is make this... Oh god, the trouble is I don't even know what colour that currently is. Oh, is it that colour? It's not, but it now is. Fine. I hope... Hopefully it's not. I'm going to change it to yellow just so I can see where it's going, or to this crazy colour so I can see where it ends up. It is doing that. Okay, right. That's because of signals. It's definitely signals, isn't it? So I need to get rid of that and go in here and bring me signals up, and then make these two. So this, make both of these. So now, if I should that now work? Is that going to make these do that? Yeah, and also this one, hopefully. Droitwich Chesterfield, this one also should be... I think, or is that running the other way as well? No, that should now both. They should both be reversing, I think. And at Chesterfield, that should now allow me to do this as well. Platform 2, yeah. Yeah, that's right. And then likewise, Chesterfield, platform 2. So it can go into either. Yeah, nice. That's exactly what I want to see. Yes, good. Yeah, okay, grand. Right, let's get this there. And annoyingly, this is a slightly different shade to literally all the others because of... Oh. Let's go with that. Yeah, grand. Okay, fine. Okay. The last thing, of course, is the fundamental thing, which is changing the loco of these to being an electric loco.
Woohoo!
Woohoo!
The important part.
The actual fundamentally important part, and then we get to see an electric loco doing its thing. Let's do this thing, right? So, how am I going to do this? I'm going to do it this way, which is get rid of you, get rid of... I mean, ideally I'd cascade these, and we're going to definitely have to do more cascading later, but at the moment there's just so many trains and also limited time that I'm not going to do that. What I'm going to do is get us a... What is the... I think... Yeah, here it is. This one. Now, colour. Yes, I can pick the colour. Oh, now what colour are we going to have for the locos here? What are you thinking? I might start with a black, you know. What do you think? A black to start? With the red coaches? That could work.
Primer grey.
Yeah,
Primer black.
Try it, yeah. Let's see what that looks like. There. Black. There we go. Electric. No electric path. Oh, I bet that's because those ones are not on the... they're not actually on the electrified bit. They're still working their way. They're basically lowest stuff still, aren't they? Okay, that's fine. I'll go back to those later. We'll come and do these ones first. Yep. And you. Oh, Shildon to Chesterfield. That one is never going to work because it has to run into Shildon. So, actually, that has to stay as steam. Even though I've changed that. But the plan, I suppose the plan will be eventually to curtail that somewhere else. For now, those stay as steam. Let's get moving. And go and have a look at our electric trains. Here it is, it's an electric train. Oh, look at that, snazzy. It's quite good in black. Whoa. There you are. Kind of stuck in a traffic jam with some... Oh, it's down at this massive Causeway Junction here. Shildon is electrified, but the southern main line is not electrified, I don't think. So if I go here, if I go to this and then show you electrification, this southern main line is not electrified. So, nope. So basically, we're going to have to start running the services running up here. All you can do is basically run from Droitwich up to... run from Droitwich up to Chesterfield is all you can now do, really. That's what that service is now becoming. So you have the electric trains, and that probably is going to mean that there are going to be some service jiggling about there to kind of increase the number of trains doing that very journey. Also, you need to work out where the hell all those other trains are. For example, this one. Where is it? I want to have a look at... No, not that one. Where's it gone? It's here. This one. Yeah, this one. Where is it? Oh, it's nearly where it needs to be. Ha! Nearly there. Close. So close yet so far. Here we go. I wanted a nice train. I'm going to end this, I think, because it's quite late now. What time is it? The actual real IRL time is nearly half. We've been doing this for 2.5 hours. I'll send updates for what this is actually going to be called as an episode, lol, and a new thumbnail. And then the next one's probably going to come right through our list. I always used to do this. I always used to think, oh, I'll definitely do 3 years of in-game time.
We'll get there, yeah.
We'll get there. Yeah, I'll send you some updates and a new description. Sorry, Jay, to give you extra things to do.
Sounds like a plan. No problem.
But yeah, we've got some electric trains running though. An electric mainline railway is functioning, albeit somewhat more curtailed than perhaps it was initially envisaged by the BS and WR when they started doing electrification pre-war. But it is a thing. It's happening. Look at this new electric fast train about to run past an old steamer. In past there. They're full of bricks, which is exactly what you would transport in that way. It's a bit weird that it's just a 3-car train as well. There we are. Look at that. Yes. Anyway, before I whiz away with myself, actually, you know what? It's fine. Let's keep going. Jay, thanks so much for joining on this one. The next one will be back on my channel, so that'll. Well, I don't know, it won't make any difference. I mean, probably fewer viewers. Hello everyone who's been watching this, and hello to everyone watching it afterwards when you kind of are in a bit more of a normal US time, and you go, oh, there's a new video on Jay's channel, and then you look in and it's like, oh, there's an island, and there's a Scottish guy. It might take you by surprise, I can only apologise. Also, I have a moustache, which is particularly haunting for people, I realise. Right, Jay. It's been a pleasure to sit and chat with you, and while I've kind of gone through what has admittedly been a slightly gentle start to the years, a slightly sort of phony war start to the era of nationalised rail on our little islands, but you know, such is life. Things are going to start getting a bit fruitier as we keep going and more things start changing. But Jay, well, actually, you know what I need to do is actually get bloody OBS up. And yeah, and then say to everyone watching, thank you so much. I will see you all. I will see you all soon. Cheerio! In fact, you know what I'm going to do also is pause this so I know the day when it ends. It's on November the 20th. Lovely. Okay, fine. Cheerio, everyone. Cheerio. Cheerio.
All right, everybody. Thank you for coming. Be sure to subscribe to Gareth, though. Right. No problem. Thank you. This was awesome. I'm excited for the next episode.